Here we are where everybody wants to be right now.
This is what table tennis is all about.
There it is, he does it! Look at this, the fans, seventh heaven right now. And he takes it. They are the world champions.
This is the very impressive city of Chengdu, which for the last week or so has had table tennis fans around the world focusing their attentions for the 2022 World Team Championships finals right here at the Chengdu High-Tech Sports Center, a state which has been specifically built with this tournament in mind. The great and good from all around the world have gathered here for what has been a superb week or so of high-quality table tennis. Let's just tell you what's happened so far today. 11 o'clock earlier this morning, we had Korea Republic up against Germany, in which the Germans edged them out. Just a few minutes ago, the Koreans are out. Germany are through to the men's finals. Who are they going to play? We'll find out very shortly as China take on Japan. With me, of course, as always, Adam Bobrow here. And looking at the matchups here, Adam, what do you make of things in this semi-final?
Everything on screen is quite interesting for me. Fan Zhendong was the person who helped me discover Shunsuke Togami. I saw them play before and thought to myself, this kid is incredible. He's going to have a bright future in Japan. But in the second spot, Tomokazu Harimoto, the form he's in right now, will be a fascinating match to see against Wang Chuqin. And then Ma Long and Mizuki Oikawa as well, actually, had an incredible match in the past that made me realize how strong Mizuki Oikawa can be. There's a lot of aggression on the Japanese side, a lot of fast footwork, but again, they are the ones who are battling against the most undefeatable team in the world right now. So Team Japan on screen will be turning in, and there they are as they spin around into the arena. Shunsuke Togami on the right will be playing the first spot. Tomokazu Harimoto, the leader of the Japanese men's team, in the second spot, and behind him, I'm on his side, it's Mizuki Oikawa. The Japanese team has lost a total of 5 matches overall, Romania taking 2, Hong Kong, China taking 1, Hungary taking 1, and then Portugal as well. Had a chance to see João Monteiro with a big comeback in the third. It's been a long road to get here, but they've made it. The semi-finals, it is not the dream draw to have to face the Chinese national team, the men of China, the defending champions, any time before the final. So it's an unfortunate semi-final matchup for Japan. That said, this could be the greatest test that Team China has had yet. Here they are, the defending champions from 2018, the last time we had a World Team Championships. We've got the world number 1, the world number 2, and the Youth Olympic gold medalist in the teams from the Olympic Games. And how many matches have they dropped so far? Hold on, let me add them up. Carry the 1, divided by 3, foil, okay, 0. They've lost 0 matches so far. Wang Chuqin was taken to the wire yesterday by Christian Carlsen of Sweden in a nail-biting match that we have not yet seen China have to battle through. But Fan Zhendong in the front will be playing the first match. He's world number 1. Ma Long, there could be a book written about. Absolutely, he's world number 2. He'll be playing the third spot, interestingly enough. So they've left it up to Wang Chuqin. We had a lot of discussions, Shahzad and I, about Wang Chuqin. How much more playing time will he get after being taken to game number 5? And interestingly enough, he's been given the responsibility of 2 singles matches. So Germany already through to the final over Korea Republic in an epic, absolutely stamina testing 5-match encounter team tie. China, Japan here playing for the honor to battle Germany as well. There are cups here on the table. We've got a lot to look forward to. The richest history in the sport of table tennis. Since 1926, the World Championships have been going down. And in the men's game, this is the cup they will be playing for. We've got the Corbion Cup, we've got the Swadeling Cup, and now the first in a potential 5-match battle, but it is the first team to win 3 matches that takes the tie. So Shahzad, a lot to look forward to here.
I absolutely agree with you there, Adam. And Yesterday, you and I were talking about how Sweden was a potential final. Sweden against Team China. Similar sort of feelings with Team Japan?
Well, this is the one that everyone expected. This was the final that we expected. Now remember, a lot of different teams had trouble getting their top players here, so certain players showed up. Koki Niwa, not here. Obviously, Jun Mizutani retired after taking his gold medal in Tokyo 2020. But it's a fresh, young Japanese team, and this is what we expected, the top 2 seeds to meet in the final. But there is some randomness to the draw, which makes things exciting, and I wouldn't call fortunate for the Japanese men, but yes, this very well could be the next sort of final before the final.
Yeah, no one wants to draw that short straw, do they? Someone has to play China.
I think it's quite a statement that Sweden is considered the final in the quarterfinals for many because they did bring such a strong team. They're in such outstanding form. Christian Karlsson, Matthias Falk, Anton Schellberg, Truls Morgard. I mean, these 4 players on a good day could beat anyone in the world.
And for moments in that tie yesterday against China, they certainly pushed them.
When I say anyone in the world, maybe except this man. Fan Zhendong, world #1 at 25 years old, is just so powerful, so fast, so complete. And in the last probably 5 years of living in the shadows of Ma Long, just having that hanging over him, he's had incredible motivation to develop a mental game and tactiks to find answers in the toughest spot. Shunsuke Togami, 21 years old, currently world rank number 45, is fast, really powerful. He's just such an agile player. Some of the counter loop rallies he's had in the past against Fan Zhendong will make this a very exciting match.
These two have met just once before, with Fan Zhendong, perhaps unsurprisingly, the winner of that one. And Shunsuke Togami has reached a high of just 40th in the world. You mentioned that Al-Ghawalis Ibrahim, the umpire. You mentioned it's a new sort of a regeneration now, isn't it? This Team Japan.
Yeah.
Perhaps there are players that could be here, but these younger players have come through quite nicely.
Yeah, they sure have. It's interesting being in the sport. As commentators, we don't depend on our bodies quite as much as the athletes do for physical fitness to be in the prime. But the level of, I'd say, just physical demand out here on these athletes. You know, we don't see so many players playing into their 30s for Team China. We've got one here, and he happens to be the greatest of all time at this point in time. But if anyone's going to pass him by, it's the man on screen, at least in the foreseeable future. So we've got a best-of-5 match here. First player to win 3 games wins the match, and it's Shunsuke Togami to start it off.
Start there for Fan Zhendong. Yep, we've got some fans in the house as well. These two have met once before at the German Open. Fan Zhendong won that encounter 4-1. 20.
I think this point really demonstrates how much pressure there is to make a quality shot every ball you play. There has to be so much intention, even from behind the table out of position. Fan Zhendong takes that point.
Last point on the board for Togami.
Yeah, a lot of extra spin here. This time, Fan Zhendong right on top of the bounce, but that ball had a lot of kick on it.
Off the serve, good point there for Fan.
Speaking of kick, a little bit more side and topspin on this serve makes the ball jump on its second bounce, which is why it caught the edge of the racket of Togami.
He's looking good, isn't he, Fan Zhendong?
Always seems to be. In the last several years, he doesn't really have a bad playing day. It's been quite some time.
Togami, in the blink of an eye, is already trailing by 4 here. Happy to take the points, however they come, Togami.
Yeah, a little bit of net to break the rhythm there, slowing the ball down, forcing Fan Zhendong to restart.
Two in a row for Togami, better from him.
Also 2 nets in a row in this rally. Just a little something, that's why he raises his finger there to acknowledge a little fortune.
Got it! Wild shot there from Togami, good power from Zhendong.
Funny, for me, the most spectacular shots in the game, obviously, the big counter loops that we see, the mid-distance, big swings. But in those pushes, the amount of tension that builds just thinking about what's to come is so exciting for me. It's really like a game of hot potato. Just who can't handle it and who decides when to allow, when to break it open. The piñata explodes here. As soon as Shunsuke Togami pushes long, he's saying, you go ahead and take the first swing, buddy.
His opponent to get him through these rallies with him, he's more likely to win.
It's funny, from behind the table there, just fishing the ball back, meaning playing a little bit more defensively, not full-on aggressive shots, but still keeping the topspin on, keeping them deep. It's tough to get on top of those bounces. It's another point that ended with the top edge of the racket for Togami.
Togami's biggest win up till now. This win against Wong Kim, who was then 20th in the world. He's at the Asian Table Tennis Championships 2021. This is a big, big step up from that, if he can do it. In it.
And I think it'd be fair to recognize Ugo Calderano as an incredible win for Shunsuke Togami here. I mean, that's massive. Someone who's been, what, 3 in the world?
Correct. Top 10 player at the moment, Ugo Calderano.
Got it! 9-5. Good surprise placement here with the deep push. Clean on top of the table, but Fan Zhendong clearly surprising Shunsuke Togami.
He started that quite well, Togami. But Fan Zhendong, who now sets up 5 game points. Wraps that up fairly quickly. Fan Zhendong.
Yes, to China.
It's a good start here for him and China. So Fan Zhendong takes that first game against Shunsuke Togami 11-5. Game 1 of this first match. Togami there beating Ugo Calderano 3-1. He actually lost to Wong Ching Ting against Hong Kong, China. The bench for Wong. Otherwise, it's a very good tournament thus far. That was one of the few games he has lost so far. Fan Zhendong 1 up here. What would you need to try and do, Togami, to try and negate the awesome power of Fan Zhendong?
He needs to surprise him. He needs to think, what is the last thing he wants? For example, a push cross court in that last point might set him up better. He needs to play for positioning. That sounds like a funny thing to say, but in the first point, that was the most textbook combination in the game. Serve short to the forehand, send him deep back to the backhand. I mean, that's very testing on the footwork. Legs-wise, it's going to be tough to compete with the legs of Fan Zhendong. I mean, we've seen how strong. He's just got massive tree trunk legs, and his upper body can flop around like the inflatable car salesman guy. I mean, he really can move that upper body any way he wants to get a shot and cover the middle. So, Shunsuke Togami's going to have to work the in and out game a lot. It's going to come down to serve and receive and setting up good positioning near the table. Much better. See, he moved it here to the middle, a little bit more central, and that shuts down the exposure to the deep backhand. He didn't leave himself vulnerable, and it caused a little bit of indecision for Fan Zhendong. And here breaking the pattern again with a nice long push from a mid-distance, the surprise factor high. It comes down to intention, really. Every time you touch the ball, you need to have a clear idea of what your plan is, how you're setting up the next shot, and how you're sort of making the opponent uncomfortable.
At least from Togami, even if the execution didn't quite work out for it.
Yeah, he played this point well. Fan Zhendong with some serious quality from behind the table, drives him back. Knows how to keep his opponent away from the table, even when he's in a tough position.
This is actually a better start to this second game for Shunsuke Togami.
That last one, you could see the bounce a little more shallow on the table. This, again, is the ins and outs. This is something Waldner was incredible at. When the ball comes in fast, it's natural to just react and try to keep it baseline to keep the opponent away from the net. But if they're already 2 steps behind the table, play a little softer. Force them to play from out of position.
More like it from Togami. I think it's the first time he's actually had the lead thus far.
Yeah, he set himself up really well for a third ball there. The serve left him a little bit loose. Fan Zhendong had a little trouble on the receive there, so he put everything into that first opening attack on the third ball.
Bounces back quickly. Shunsuke Togami. That'll do him a world of good.
Yeah, in terms of confidence building, to be reminded that you can use the backhand against heavy topspin coming in. Fan Zhendong stepped around, but he's going to have a little caution before he makes that turn on the backhand corner next time around.
This is much better from Togami. And that's the biggest lead that he has had. He's got his whole team up on their feet.
Little table maintenance called for here by Fan Zhendong. Part of the protocols to keep everyone safe, hygienic. I will say, though, in a best of 5, there's something encouraging for the underdog. I mean, if you're playing someone you might think, I'll never beat this person in my life, and then they're like, oh, let's just play 1 point.
Right.
You're like, oh, suddenly I have a chance.
So less is more, in a way.
more unpredictable.
Well, this is a really good run, the best run of points he has had so far, Kogami.
And the placement, it's not just power on that. You could see Fan Zhendong had to choose forehand or backhand. It was hit right into the middle, forcing that indecision.
Took a spate edge of it right at the end there. Little apology from Fan.
The second towel break here. It's sort of fun to do the math. If you're a die-hard table tennis fanatic, you probably have some percentages in mind for what the odds are here for Team Japan. But in the semifinals, I mean, it's tough to imagine this Team China being eliminated, period, to not win the whole thing, let alone in the semis.
He will generally be the favorite in those sort of rallies.
The idea there is right. It doesn't miss the back edge by a lot, looking for that corner. If it comes down, it's going to be a real trouble shot. Kicking high, and a timeout now for Shunsuke Togami after 2 points have been captured by the world #1.
Hoping that Adam was going to be able to get something for us there, but no hope. Did you guys get something?
Well, a lot. Fan Zhendong actually chose that song for Shunsuke Togami's timeout.
Perfect, right?
Yeah. He's not saying call me 100%. He's not saying don't call me. He's saying call me maybe. Just maybe.
Just perhaps he might. Remember, it was Japan who asked for that timeout. And Fan Zhendong was starting to build a head of steam. 3 in a row from him.
The steam turns into a slight boil here. 7 points apiece. It has not been stopped, the comeback train that is world #1.
That is put away beautifully by Fan Zhendong.
And on that receive, you can see he's looking push. He puts his hand over the table defensively to play a short shot, recognizes he's going to have a little room, drops the racket, and takes the opening. To have that much quality on a shot as your second choice, that's scary.
Well, he needed that badly, didn't he, Togami?
Game number 2. I mean, the games get progressively less and less sort of valuable in the sense that it's a back against the ropes, climbing back into it. If he can take game number 2, there's going to be pressure. It'll be 1-1. And he'll have momentum, but still, Fan Zhendong is going to be very confident, has an incredible team behind him in the corner.
He's only dropped 1 game so far. Actually, Ma Long is the one who's dropped 1 game so far, isn't he? Fan Zhendong has been perfect.
Good counter punch here with the backhand.
He's under some pressure here, Fan Zhendong.
Yeah, I was going to ask you who when you said that, and then when you said the Ma Long thing, I remember Michel Levinsky.
Correct.
11-7, I think. That was pretty crazy.
That's special.
Yeah. Epitaph. It all happens so quickly. I think Shunsuke Togami hit a shot that's a winner against 99.9% of the players in the world. And to recover after having to squat so low on that second to last shot, there was just very little time for him to get back up into position. That's how grippy those rubbers are. You can see the racket completely tilted, still the ball going straight up.
Oh, what a return. How close was that for Togami?
It was an incredibly close call. This one very much could have come down on the edge and given game point, but it's not the type of position he wants to be in. He had to chase down that wide forehand just to keep the ball in play in the first place, testing the power of Fan Zhendong.
Who now has that slender game point. So this is the first time in this tournament that Fan Zhendong has conceded 10 points against an opponent. Togami needs to win by 2, or Fan Zhendong as well. He went for it, didn't he? Togami.
That was a gamble. This serve sits up just a little bit, but the length is so uncomfortable. Togami takes his chances. It was bait, and he bit it. It comes, I think he has to. He doesn't have a lot of better options there.
Right. Game point again. Second one for Fan Zhendong in this second game. Fan Zhendong comes out on top and takes that first game.
So think about how many shots he pulls off with crazy pressure in this rally. Fan Zhendong with the seatbelt shot. Look how low he gets. That's the upper body, the car salesman, inflatable man I'm talking about. Both here, inside out, and then a leaping backhand right to the corner. This is deadly.
That placement was brilliant. Fan Zhendong in that second game wins it 12-10. He's 2 up here in match 1.
Time.
So Adam, we're looking here at Togami, who's thinking, I had Fan Zhendong for a little bit on the ropes, a little bit, and he couldn't finish it off. What a great rally just now.
Yeah, it's pretty devastating. I think in Shunsuke Togami's shoes, you have to think to yourself as positively as possible. Yeah. Take inspiration and encouragement wherever you can.
What was he doing better in that second game for you?
Well, first of all, he was decisive. Second of all, he worked hard to recover from every shot. He was thinking in combinations, and he was staying closer wherever he could. He had a little bit more of this sort of never give up mentality that we could see in his physicality. Like, when he had to chase the wide forehands, a lot of those, he could have played more passively just to keep the ball in play, but he gave everything on every shot.
But you're liking what you're seeing from Togami.
Yeah, I mean, it's incredible. It's just the reason I bring up that last point in game number 2 is when you play that well and under pressure, someone can take the most unlikely shot and hit it back to the most unlikely place successfully. That's heartbreaking. Yeah. It can be really discouraging and demoralizing.
And 9 times out of 10, you make that, unless, of course, you're playing one of maybe 2 players in the world, of which he's doing right now.
Right. quality of that rally wins Togami the point, as you said, 90% of the time.
We've seen this, haven't we, from the big players. When they've been taken very close in the previous game, there's quite a reaction from them soon after.
I think that's a big thing about why Wang Chuqin has this lion heart that the team recognizes and trusts him to use. It's a fine balance of power, passion, precision, and sort of dialing it in.
That's why you said that Wang Chuqin has been entrusted today with potentially playing twice, if required.
Yeah, it seems unlikely, but it is a decision made by the coaching staff. Over Ma Long, for that matter.
Yeah.
To have Ma Long as your third player, I mean, can you imagine? If this were a lunchtime draft, like kickball, and you're like, who do I want on my table tennis team right now? And Ma Long was your third pick for your team, you're like, no, Ma Long, you sit the bench. You only get one singles in this team match.
There must be something tactical in that, maybe conserving him for tomorrow.
Seems like a sketch comedy, really, but that's the depth of Team China right now.
Let
4 points clear, Fan Zhendong in game 3 here. Nicely done by Togami.
Smart placement there as he turns from the middle. Very good court awareness, using the peripheral vision to see Fan Zhendong starting to turn, so he plays the line for the point.
let
The warning was the ball was blocked by the head. It disappeared behind the head of Fan Zhendong.
Raw from Togami. We'll be happy with that now. The lead has been slashed to 2.
A little bit off the back edge here to get the point. This is another game of hot potato here where they're trying to protect the attacks. And Fan Zhendong, quite frankly, was in better position in that point. Shunsuke Togami had to go for the long push near the end. And as deep as can be, sort of rewarded for going that extra depth on the table.
Just as he was starting to apply that pressure, Togami on Fan Zhendong. That pressure is relieved by the Chinese paddler. Beautifully put away by Fan Zhendong.
Watch the upper body of Fan Zhendong in this shot. Take a look at his upper body when this ball comes in. How low he gets. The quads, everything. I mean, his shoulder is about table height when he finishes that point.
Yeah, all of a sudden, just as Togami was within a point of it, in double quick time, Fan Zhendong is now 4 clear. And he's 3 away from taking this first match. That is sublime from Fan Zhendong.
It's just a soul-crushing shot. Shunsuke Togami giving everything in this rally. I mean, to recover and hit it as hard as he did 3 times in a row, Fan Zhendong just with the gloves up blocks everything and changes the direction.
6 match points for Fan Zhendong. And he wraps it up. Fan Zhendong, after being pushed all the way in game 2, with a much easier game 3.
Game 2 we could feel was really the one that if there was going to be a crack in the windshield, it had to start at least in game 2. Obviously the first would be the first choice, but Fan Zhendong came to the table well prepared, and he was quite tested by the Japanese national champion. But just everything that he brings to the game, heavy top and side spin on that one, very quick forward motion, lunging out, getting the weight behind the ball, but incredibly well prepared. A humble, hard-working world #1 Xiaopeng Little Fatty, Fan Zhendong, able to take it here, holding his opponent to nearly 4 points.
So Fan Zhendong beat Shunsuke Togami 11-5, 12-10, 11-4 by 3 games to 0. Excellent work from him. China have gone 1 up in the tie. And now we get to hear from the winner of that match. Here is Fan Zhendong.
Congratulations. You've played against Togami before. Did you do any specific preparation for today's match? 和对手此前交手过一次，那这一次在交手的时候有没有做哪些针对性的准备？
其实，第一场球这个半决赛第一场球，我觉得还是非常难打吧，包括也不可以用老眼光去准备对手吧，所以我觉得对手今天发挥的也非常不错，然后自己对自己最后。发挥包括这个结果还是表示满意吧。
The first match for me in the semifinal was very difficult, and we cannot view our opponent with old views. I think my opponent played very well today, and I also played very well today. I'm satisfied.
The second game was a very close one. How did you turn it around when you were trailing? 第二局打得非常的焦灼，自己在落后的情况下是如何应对的？
第二局其实中段自己还是领先吧，但是我觉得对手在第二局这种发挥非常好，然后自己也是在想尽办法吧，然后最后打到关键分的时候，我觉得自己还是比较冷静、比较沉着的。
In game 2, my opponent, actually I was leading in the score, but my opponent played very well. I tried to find some methods, and in some key points, I was calm.
Thank you. Congratulations.
So Ma Long there is next. Is not next, in fact, excuse me. Wang Chuqin is next against Tomokazu Harimoto. And he has been set up beautifully by Fan Zhendong, who had a fantastic win there over Shunsuke Togami. Match 2 is up next.
Been dope, he just napping. Jackson's off the rapping. Keep it on my body, bitch, I'm broke if you ask it. Don't gotta sell a Mosialis, flawless, broken wrists as long as it is foreign. Heard you want it cause the yam's enormous. What's in since she isn't gorgeous? Live my life, last name of Morgan Freeman. Trying to touch a forest, do not know when knocking on the door is. Came in, I came in, did it like the Porsches coming in. Yeah, flex, I just wanna win. Yeah, LA BB, who we running with? Yeah. 2, 2, 3, 3, I'm on 10 again. Okay, alright. Coming in, yeah. Flex, I just wanna win. Yeah. LA BB, who we running with? Yeah. 2, 2, 3, 3, I'm on 10, 10, 10, yeah.
Here we are then at table 1 again for the men's semi-finals between Team China and Team Japan, with China winning the first match in 3 straight games. And there you go, Fan Zhendong beating Shunsuke Togami. And up next, Wang Chuqin up against Tomokazu Harimoto. Ma Long, as we mentioned earlier, is the 3rd player today. I just wonder, Adam, is it because perhaps Harimoto has a decent record against Ma Long, has beaten him twice, and perhaps has his number in some ways?
That's my thinking. I mean, you have a sense of who's going to be playing which spot in general. Tomokazu Harimoto is the leading man for Japan. He's the greatest hope to take 2 points. If Japan should take this, he will need to take 2 matches. And I think that's right. I think Wang Chuqin has an 80% win rate against him, 4 of 5 encounters, and it's been the last 4 for Wang Chuqin. But it's been 3 years since they've played internationally, so this is quite interesting. Harimoto is physically a very different player on the table now.
Wang Chuqin, 22 years of age, a left-hander. He's 11th in the world. He's the only one of the Chinese players to have lost 2 games so far, though he had a stirring comeback again last night, didn't he? Against Christian Carlsen. Tomokazu Harimoto seems like he's been around forever. He's only 19 years of age. This man was already making his mark at the age of 15. He's currently 4th in the world. He is that child prodigy, isn't he, Tomokazu Harimoto? And playing in his former world. Sorry, in 4-1 they play each other. Mentioned there. When he was just 15, he beat Wang Chuqin. That was at the Youth Olympics. And he has hit a high of 3rd in the world, Wang Chuqin 10th. And he hit that 3 years ago, Tomokazu Harimoto.
And the fun fact is, the Youth Olympics, it was the team event. In the men's singles, or boys singles, I guess. Hello, Nasim, our umpire, Nasibe, Delire Rabi. I was going to say that Wang Chuqin took the Youth Olympics gold medal over Tomokazu Harimoto, but then in the teams, Harimoto got some revenge, but it's not quite as sweet of a berry to chew on. Wang Chuqin fan club here.
Talking of Olympic medals, Harimoto with that bronze in the team event in his home Olympics, where Japan generally disappointed.
First game, China to serve.
He's got plenty of gold medals at World Championship level as well, Wang Chuqin. He's certainly one who lets his feelings be shown, isn't he, Harimoto? He's a very vocal person.
As vocal as they come, he's a warrior on the table, and it's great to see and hear.
Listen to that.
Yeah, this is a sign that they know this is the clutch match. This is crucial. If there's anyone on Team Japan who stands a real chance based on their history, it's this player, Tomokazu Harimoto.
Just a nice little side story here is that Tomokazu Harimoto may have been born in Japan, but he's of Chinese parentage.
Something funny about the first 2 points for me is they went the opposite way of the way they looked they were going to go. The players who were in better position lost a point both of the first 2 points. But Harimoto, you can feel, is putting a little bit more juice into his shots.
All 3 points cheered on by the fans in here.
As we saw Lin Gaoyuan there, again the most devastating comeback in recent history was Lin Gaoyuan 3-0 up against Tomokazu Harimoto, so we know he has some strong mental game against left-handers. Being left-handed in table tennis, like other racket sports, an advantage. It's just less common to come by. You have a forehand where you're used to having a backhand and vice versa.
So Harimoto has a 67% win rate, 106 wins out of 159 matches. Similar win rate against left-handers. Enjoying that, so is he.
Not easy to predict where he's going to go. Watch how he holds his balance here. Very smart, opens the racket up to go inside out. Very surprising, sort of against what the shoulders might have suggested to Harimoto on the other side.
He's up for it, isn't he, Wang Chuqin?
This is tough. He catches, he handcuffs Harimoto into more passive play. And even inside the table there, that's not an easy ball. From this second camera angle, we saw how challenging that would be for Wang Chuqin to make. 3 in a row out of the towel break for Wang Chuqin.
Excellent one for Wang Chuqin. Great sequence of points.
Harimoto hasn't been able to do much on the receive in the last 2 points. Long, low push seems like a much better option. How well prepared and calculated was that shot?
Off the edge there. Nothing he can do about that, Harimoto. Nicely done on the backhand.
We've talked throughout the week about how physicality dictates different styles of play. Tomokazu Harimoto has hit the weight room harder than any Japanese player I've seen since the time he was about 13 years old. And it's shown. His body is massive. He's physically the most imposing player on the Japanese team, despite being one of the youngest.
Yeah, he's certainly bulked up. He's just 19. He's a 50 man. Closer, Wang Chuqin, to what looked like an improbable point, but it goes to Harimoto.
Wow, that one sure extended longer than we expected. Wang Chuqin with an undying effort on the other side still brings back the ball with a lot of quality. Only a 1-point lead now for Dato. Wang Chuqin. Like making a fragrance, it's a very fine balance between forward motion and topspin in these shots. I like this better. I think the topspin on this is very important. Harimoto's strong in the backhand punch game and can be very aggressive, but as he gets a little bit behind the table, it becomes a higher risk shot.
Deep shot there for Wang Chuqin. And he's now 2 ahead.
The angle that he creates in that receive is really just unbelievable. Steps completely around as he asks for a little table clean here. Huh? Says it's okay, I got it myself. We don't see that too much out here.
Harimoto looking to be aggressive. Doesn't work for him, and there are 3 game points for Wang Chuqin.
I like this. When I think back to the most crucial moments in this game, it was from down 2-4. Wang Chuqin wins 4 points in a row. Tomokazu Harimoto couldn't control the short play. And this is the first time in a long time that we've seen a receive short enough to cause trouble to really deter the follow-up attack of Wang Chuqin.
Lovely from Wang Chuqin, who takes that first game.
And this serve here drifting just a little bit long. It's such a fine margin, a game of millimeters out here, and that one with centimeters of space for Wang Chuqin to open up, and he does.
And Wang Chuqin takes that first game against Tomokazu Harimoto with 11-8. China already 1 up in this tie.
前后阵做得非常好，短路不需要那么急转，没必要那么短，单出牌对他来说是难度，懂吗？到这个位置是不是？中国人是摸的。好，很好，很好啊！
Harimoto here, down by 1. What does he need to do? Because he's looking aggressive. He's got the aggressive part. What does he need to do?
Well, that's a big part of it. In that last point, he did get aggressive very early. He's going to have to put a lot of pressure on with specific placements. Right here, there's no hesitation once again. He's throwing caution to the wind a little bit. He's going to miss something like this. He's not going to make them all. Right. But he has to know that going in and not allow himself to get soft once these opening attacks come in.
So playlist percentages get risky.
And in some sense, it's just the opposite, right? He has to play low percentage here and there just to make sure and remember that it's more important that he makes some percentage of a fairly low percentage shot as opposed to playing the highest percentage shot all the time. He's trying to end the point, win it.
Excellent start here for Harimoto. 4 quick points for him.
And he has to have quick points. His backhand over the table is one of the best in the world. That's the receive game that's made him so effective over the years. Yeah, Wang Chuqin very much driving this vehicle. Harimoto with short strokes, sort of blocking and redirecting. Doing a good job to stay close, but Wang Chuqin putting in more, and it pays off.
Initially for Harimoto, but he doesn't win the point.
The replay will be fun here. Watch that reaction. Just leaping to the side. I mean, Harimoto goes wide to the corner. And when you hear Harimoto grunt for a forehand, you know there's a lot of pace on it. If it's not pace, it's going to be spin. But either way, it's going to be tough to counter. Trying to see what the warning was. Looked like maybe the hand was cupped.
Happy with that, isn't he? Let's see what that warning was.
She pointed at her hand, and generally the hand that holds the ball before the toss, or for the toss, should be relatively flat. Shouldn't be too cupped to impart spin on the ball.
2 points in it. Wang Chuqin had a good run of points in that last game. again.
The idea was clever. Harimoto shaking his head because he had an attack. And he thought maybe Wang Chuqin was backing up and he could drop it short, but it was a little bit loose. Wasn't thrilled with the outcome of that decision.
Went for the long serve this time, Harimoto. And it's all level now in the second game. After that, remember, 4-point lead he had. First time in game 2, and Chuqin goes in front. Reaction. Good power from Wang Chuqin.
Funny, he's not the most massive guy physically if you put him next to Fan Zhendong. I mean, there's clearly some difference in their physique, the power they generate, but the style of the stroke, the trajectory from Wang Chuqin, it's very fast.
Well, he was dictating that one, wasn't he, Harimoto?
Took a lot of work to stay on top of every shot that came in. That ball right there, really just so much drift with the side spin. He was actually sort of channeling Chuqin on that low, below-the-table hooking side topspin.
2 good points here for Harimoto. Well, now in a decent position, Harimoto. Just one ahead of Wang Chuqin.
You could hear the sound on that ball, the crack on the impact. I mean, that is a very fast shot. Talk about risks. Spin, and there's the punch. Just right forward. That was a massive point because he's got 2 serves here and a chance to take the game, as opposed to being at 8-8 now with the serves.
Pulls one back, Wang Chuqin. What a play there.
Wow, little time for a little fortune here. Wang Chuqin's been incredible, gets a little help off the top of the net. The acknowledgement there, but 1 point between them now.
Nine, 8.
And he now has 2 game points here, Harimoto.
Some ITTK out there, a quick turnaround, that instant table tennis karma in a crucial moment here. A baby with foam on its head? What is that? What does that have to do with Wang Chuqin? Like, I forgot my Wang Chuqin fan club shirt. I think I'm gonna wear a baby in a bathtub, the shampoo crown instead. He'll appreciate it.
Now, under pressure here, Wang Chuqin. And he's taken his first game, Tomokazu Harimoto. Wang Chuqin has now dropped 3 in the last 24 hours.
It's funny, the way you say it, it sounds like something devastating, and for most teams, that would be brag-worthy.
Right.
I've only dropped 3 games in the last 24 hours. But here, the standard is completely different.
Absolutely right. Tomokazu Harimoto has won game 2, 11-8. It's 1-1 here in this second match.
縦と横を何回も繰り返し繰り返し。到这个点，他就有这儿，然后呢，配合起飞过，到正手位置，到你的正手位置，起才在实现。明白吗？对，啊，刚刚都是轻的啊，现在啊。
The Jiayos for Wang Chuqin ringing around the arena. Game 3, Wang Chuqin to serve. That momentum, he'll be hoping carries over into this game, Harimoto.
Ooh, edge of the table here for Harimoto. They're going to correct the scoreboard on that quickly. Harimoto, the faint edge there.
There's 2 up here.
Too low.
Well, remember, he had a very good start to that last game. It was nice and aggressive, Harimoto.
Yeah, it took the first 4 points. The idea is right for me. Harimoto sees an opening on the table. He makes that shot. Wang Chuqin's going to be on the chase. It's going to be a real test for how well he can cover that backhand without being in position beforehand.
Initial return of Harimoto.
I think it's the 3rd point in a row that we've seen that's ended with the backhand clipping the top of the net and out. Again, it's that fine margin between the combination of spin and forward motion. Harimoto flatter than most, so less arc, finds the top of the net a little bit more.
Net. 32.
When he first burst on the scene, Adam, was it like a breath of fresh air? Such a young kid who just astounded everyone, didn't he? Harimoto.
It was like, I'm trying to think of a good comparison. It was like a one-hit wonder that everyone was watching and thinking, could this be real? Is it real? We have a sighting. There's a UFO out there, but we're not sure if it's real. And then he continued, and it never stopped.
To put that into context, to be winning titles and being as ranked as high as he was at the age of 15, 16, I mean, that is unprecedented, isn't it?
When he was 11 years old, he beat 2 men in the top 100 in the world. At 11. I mean, we don't hear anything like this. His sister beat me when she was 11, but I'm not top 100 in the world, not even close. He beat 2 superstars, Omar Asar and Jens Lundqvist, who's been a legend for Sweden, one of the most sort of, I don't know, veteran players recently for Sweden.
He is certainly one of those rare breeds. And you think, again, can hit the heights of world #1?
I think it's possible, but it won't be easy. There are a lot of strong Chinese players.
5 out.
It is fortunate, though, for Harimoto that he's not the number 4 ranked player on his team. Wang Chuqin, on the other hand, at world rank number 11, has an 80% winning record against the world number 4. Part of that is because of how much they play. Finger breaker serve here, half long, just off the back edge. It's funny, I was having a talk with Vladi Diaz, the coach for the Puerto Rican women, who's the father to 4 competitive table tennis players, the 2 top for Puerto Rico, Adriana and Meli, about parents coaching their kids and when a parent has to let go. It's very interesting. Harimoto the same.
Yeah, both his parents were table tennis players.
And coaches.
And coaches, yeah. They obviously formed a very big part of his life.
Well, you could normally see Tomokazu's corner had his dad there, Yu Harimoto. And for Miwa, you'll see the mom there. But more recently, Tomokazu Harimoto doesn't have his dad there. And it's not because his dad's not a good coach. It's because it's tough to be objective when your DNA is living on the court. It's an emotional experience.
Look at that. 3-point lead. He's fired up here, Tomokazu Harimoto.
I think it's a very true statement, not just a YouTube comment, but he shouts as if he's won the match for nearly every point because it is its own battle. And if he does win this match, still a long way to go. If he does, get ready for some fireworks.
Look at that. The belief is there, isn't it, for Harimoto?
It's funny, he's one of the most respectful, shy, quiet people within the Japanese team included. But he always turns around to share it with the bench, that passion.
Yeah, it's really what they say, the white line, crossing the white line. When you onto the court or onto the table, you're a different person.
And now he's got 5 game points to go up 2-1.
To Wang Chuqin.
This was very close to coming down tactically. I thought Harimoto played it perfectly. Wang Chuqin with a lot of quality shots, but holding like a wall here, just one step behind the table. Harimoto looking for the opportunity and deciding when to explode.
So Harimoto takes that second game for himself, and for the second time in a row, Wang Chuqin has dropped 2 games in a match.
This gets very interesting right about now. It's completely possible the most dominant game we've seen yet in this team tie. And in this match here, the first one that was more than 3 points differential. Harimoto just 1 game away. He's going to be confident, and he's found a plan here. This is trouble for Wang Chuqin.
11-6, Harimoto takes that game 3.
こちらとしては出す人に今持ってるから多分持ってくると思うんだこのロングとかもあるかもしれないここは2ロング持ってくると思うからまた丁寧に構えとくとかそれもいいしでもそれでもやっぱチキが必要ですもちろんそれはミスしないから思いっきり持ち上げるぐらいどのボールをチキがするかレシーブをチキがするのかダブルセットのボールをチキがするのか然后在跟辅导中在包括你自己还是在今天场吧都可以这样，明白吗？啊！
So this is familiar territory, shall we say, for Wang Chuqin, because last night he was actually worse than this. He was 2 down against Christian Carlsen and then bounced back superbly.
Yeah, he did show incredible mental stability out here, maturity on the table. Different players, though.
But both Carlsen and Harimoto were trying to take the game to Wang Chuqin, but playing as aggressively as they could, couldn't they?
Generally, that's what's going to happen at this level, yeah. I mean, there's defensive style, choppers, And then there are people who can really, like Ma Long, can take the rhythm off and control with unbelievable skill. He's just so versatile. But against a player like Wang Chuqin, even Ma Long is going to have trouble playing soft shots here and there. That was a big point for me. It's a little bit of encouragement. It's a reminder that if he takes that extra effort, gets the racket out there, fully extends, even when he's in trouble, he can win a point. Remember, this isn't a player who won 11-9 or 14-12 in the last game. It's a player who won 11-6. And for me, the spin was the main thing. Harimoto used more spin in his backhand than he usually does. The placement was sublime. It was unpredictable, and he was close to the table.
Chuqin now engaging in the Royal Stakes.
Well, he's a little bit older. He's got a few years here, 3 years on Harimoto. He was quite fiery and vocal from his young years.
Saying something there to his teammates.
I think he was double confirming with Coach Kunihito Tase just to make sure he's got the game plan. Between shows, he actually finished his chole, turned, said, one more of this, spin again, and then another cho after he confirmed. Qin Zhijian, the coach for the Chinese team. It's going to be a very interesting predicament here.
Yeah, that predicament is if Wang Chuqin loses, and we have to say if, because we know what happened yesterday. What happens then if China go on to make the final? What is that selection going to be?
I'd be curious to see. So just to be clear, the question is if Wang Chuqin loses this match, China goes on to still win this team tie, would Wang Chuqin play in the men's team final? It's a good question. He very well might. Liang Jinquin's the only other option, really.
Yeah, it's a selection headache, shall we say, for the coach.
Now, age has something to do with it, but experience has more to do with it. I think Sun Yingsha on the women's side is the perfect example of that. Yes, she's young, but she's shown that she can be trusted under pressure time and time again.
Brilliant, brilliant from Harimoto.
I mean, this bait right here. Soft push, gets the step round, keeps the racket high and blocks it out to the opposite direction. This is confidence, and this is combination play. When he plays that push, he knows what he wants to happen next. This is very impressive from Wang Chuqin because there's a calm and a very clear sense from Harimoto of how he wants these points to go, and he played that point the way he had for the last several. But Wang Chuqin's still finding a way to pinpoint the uncomfortable crossover.
What a great return that one for Wang Chuqin.
Yeah, a taste of his own medicine here. Harimoto goes for broke, has a long way to recover, and at the baseline, the ball was already past him. Quick, beautiful block from Wang Chuqin under pressure to earn himself a 2-point lead out of the second towel break.
It looked, for all intents and purposes, Harimoto was going to win that rally. And he's now too clear.
The timeout called now.
Yep.
Little fun fact, the last 2 times they had played, Harimoto had been beaten 4-0. Didn't take a game. He's already gotten 2 games and is 1 point away from being tied up here in the 4th.
对不对？要砍你打，懂不懂？就是嘛，现在只有决心，明白吗？没问题，没问题，稍微缓一下。开来了，那就这么开一开。
それでは反応します。反応します。さあ、その聞いたニュースです。どうもよろしくお願いします。
気をつけないと。そう、難しかったら聞いて書いてくれる。摸死，就是说，我看中间这个摸不死掉它，差一点跟人上套一下，下面这个自己的位置，这个石头导师他已经在这个位置，他摸这个他也摸不死了，对不对？一样，谁也别冲着往上扑，都躲第一下，第一下可以躲过去，或者是保护一下啊，好啊，给我打没关系啊啊啊！
Wang Chuqin 4 points away from leveling this match. Doubled his lead.
Good point to get right out of the timeout. A bit of a confidence boost, a reminder that he's got this, that he can be confident and secure.
Other ideas for now.
I guess it's tough to be too secure. I mean, obviously, skill sets wise, there's no question he's prepared for this moment, but he's dealing with one of the few great threats to Team China in the world. This man here.
For Wang Chuqin now to put himself within sight of the second game. Just a point in it between them.
Very brave attempt there. Wang Chuqin trying to go down the line with that fast shot. They call it the short side of the table because there's less distance to play to. It's not as safe of a shot.
All square. The pressure is ratcheting up here on Wang Chuqin. That's a great shot, isn't it?
It's not easy to do. I mean, you have to be really careful. I think after the age of about 25, that could end you up in bed for a week.
Now, where's that momentum? It's Wang Chuqin on serve for a start, so that's going to give him the slender advantage. But it is Harimoto who has match point.
It's a very interesting time to be in China right now. I'm looking around at all the media surrounding the commentary booth. And this is a moment where the whole world is watching and wondering, can it happen? What will happen in this point here? Second serve for Wang Chuqin, and it's against match point this time around.
Harimoto has done it here. That's why he's so delighted. And China have lost their first match of these championships. What a turnaround. Superb from Harimoto, and Japan are right back in this.
I have to imagine if I am just a little bit of adrenaline inside of Tomokazu Harimoto right now, it's like being at a rave. He must be just absolutely buzzing in every single part of his body after that victory. Not 3-2, 3-1. The first loss for any Chinese player here at the World Team Championships, courtesy of Tomokazu Harimoto, and he can take a break for a few minutes. He's got a little time, but we are going to get a fourth match in this team tie, potentially a fifth, And quite frankly, it could be Japan that wins in the fourth. We don't know, but confirmation of scores on screen. 11-8 for Wang Chuqin, and then 8-6 and 9 he was limited to, while Tomokazu Harimoto took the next 3 games straight. So if you had your doubts, if he had plateaued for a little bit over the last few years, right now, this is quite a telling victory. So let's hear from Tomokazu Harimoto, the 19-year-old sensation, right about now.
Congratulations. You were 1 game down. How did you make a comeback?
第1ゲームを落としてしまいまして、ただし、最後に逆転できました。それはどのように実現できましたか？
そうですね、本当に中国選手は本当に強いので、一球一球粘って1球でも多く返すことを意識して、2ゲーム以降戦いました。
He said the players in Team China is very strong, and this is a tough match. I use my mind to win this game. The second question is, how do you feel about the next match?
そして次の試合はどうなると思いますか？
次もきっと難しい試合になると思いますけど、チームが勝てるように次の自分の試合も勝って、5番そうですね、次も、全力で勝ちにいきたいと思います。
He said the next match will be also tough, and we will try our best to fight. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, Muzakashi indeed. It will not be an easy battle. It'll be quite a challenge here, but he's done his job. Tomokazu Harimoto spicing things up here because it is tied. Team China and Team Japan at 1 match apiece. Ma Long versus Mizuki Oikawa coming up next.
When you call my name, make me lose my game. When you call my name, I go crazy, 'cause I can't escape. When you call my name, when you call my name.
Welcome back to the World Team Table Tennis Championships, coming to you live from the beautiful Chengdu, China, the land of the panda, and all sorts of things coming up like table tennis magic right here. It's an amazing city with beautiful greenery, bike rides galore, parks, delicious hot pot, and of course the pandas, but the high-tech center here in Chengdu. This is where the action is going down. Fan Zhendong, the world #1, took the first match over Shunsuke Togami, the national champion of Japan, 3-0. Wang Chuqin with a very fascinating, high-octane match, but it was Tomokazu Harimoto of Japan, the world #4, living up to his world ranking, and for the first time in some time, getting a victory over Wang Chuqin. But now, it is the captain, the dragon, the dictator, the greatest of all time at this point in history, Ma Long, tucking in the shirt and getting ready for his battle against Mizuki Oikawa of Japan. Coin toss here, Ma Long wins. I have to imagine he chose receive, but we'll find out shortly. It appears that way, which means that if it comes down to 9-9 in the 5th and deciding game of this match, Ma Long will have the last 2-serve combination. So just here in the warm-up, Ma Long on the block. Mizuki Oikawa was doing the looping. Now they'll switch sides. Ma Long, 33 years of time on Earth. Currently world rank #2. And the father figure, actual father, and a big brother to everybody on the team, is the most mastermind player that we have seen. Always has answers. 25 years old on the other side. Mizuki Oikawa, 119 in the world, but was the national champion the year before in Japan. So he's very strong. He's played once before against Ma Long and put up quite a fight. I'm Adam Bobrow, and with me in the commentary booth, Shahzad Haq.
Thank you very much, Adam. Yes, look, this is a massive one here for Mizuki Oikawa. He's up against the GOATs. They've met twice before, with Ma Long winning both those encounters. The highest Oikawa has ever reached is 61st in the world. And of course, we know that Ma Long is a former world #1. So, is this a David versus Goliath clash for you?
Is it a what?
David versus Goliath.
Oh, I love it, yes. Yeah, it is. It is. I will say that Ma Long right now, being the Goliath here in this analogy.
Thank you for clarifying that he's the Goliath.
Hey, just in case, just in case. We got a lot of young new viewers here, so.
Fair.
But that said, Ma Long right now, from what we've seen, is not the best he's ever been. He's still incredibly strong, and for me, one of the top 2 in the world without question. Behind Fan Zhendong, but the Ma Long fan club here, no question in China, they agree he is the GOAT. He's the most celebrated. I mean, we can go on and on. But even when he's at 90%, if that's where he's at right now, there's a reason he's trusted. Although you and I have found it interesting that he is playing the 3rd spot here.
Yeah.
But I do think that's what we call stacking, where you change up the order of your team, recognizing where they're likely to put certain players. And so you want to have a favorable lineup to avoid matchups that say the head-to-head. Ma Long might be a little bit sort of vulnerable against Tomokazu Harimoto, but as we saw, he's not the only one.
You know, the other interesting thing is Wang Chuqin has just lost his first match. No Chinese player has done that yet. He may well be called upon again. He has a chance, perhaps, at redemption later on. But here we go. Ma Long against Mizuki Oikawa. These two have met twice before. Both times have gone to Ma Long, both times in 2019. A lot of Mizuki Oikawa in the T-League. He's a very, very explosive player, but I mean, this is about as big as it gets in terms of a matchup. Is this a case of things to come?
We've yet to mention the defensive skills of Mizuki Oikawa, but the difference in the backhands here, without much time, Mizuki Oikawa on the backhand is just going to have to punch back and fish. If his feet are in position, he can take a ripping backhand counter from behind the table. Ma Long doesn't have to have the feet on the ground to do that. Pretty crazy.
Position early, Oikawa.
He's a very versatile player. We've talked about how physicality dictates different styles of play, but Oikawa, as a much shorter player, still from behind the table has won a lot of points throughout his career. Oikawa had a very tough loss against João Monteiro of Portugal, with the ball coming down on the edge of the table after an explosive rally in the 5th and deciding game of the match. But he's back here. Smart play, hugs the line, gets Ma Long to move around to that backhand corner. This very touch play. It's funny, Ma Long has a very divisive backhand, but it's not nearly as explosive as his forehand. Which means that Ma Long is going to run around the backhand corner where he can. He's going to favor that forehand. And if you're just joining us, Ma Long had a big surgery in 2019. And when he came back, or at least when he came back from his surgery in 2019, I should say, that wide forehand corner was the spot that was the toughest for him, where he was vulnerable.
Trying to give him more confidence.
Not a lot of time to react there, but a quick move. He waited patiently for a moment before deciding to step around that ball, played right into the middle.
He's engaging in two long rallies. He wins both of them, Oikawa.
That was a nice change of pace from behind the table, just like we saw early in this match. One, he's not afraid to play to the short side, but this last backhand, a little less oomph on it, doesn't come all the way out to where Ma Long is.
You mentioned there that defeat against Montero. Oikawa's had some pretty unconvincing performances prior to this. He's had 3 points in a row against Ma Long. It really will serve him well.
And just to be fair, world rank number 119 against João Monteiro, someone who's been part of a very solid group of men to keep Portugal one of the top European nations in the world, or more specifically in Europe.
Earlier in the piece.
It was incredibly tough. Ma Long plays that ball slow and loaded with spin. I mean, 9 out of 10 professionals in the world will miss that shot going for anything even as fast as a punch, let alone a counter down the line.
4 in a row for Oikawa.
Good kick on the serve here, classic Ma Long pendulum. The second bounce jumps because of the top and side spin.
Went for it, didn't he, Ma Long? 4 out of the last 5.
Mizuki Oikawa really there with some heavy spin. Watch one more time. Good showing. Just pushes quickly and then shows a follow through with the racket head straight up. So you think there's more side spin on it that there is. Then there is. Tough to read, deception high right now. Still a long way to go, but out of the first or second towel break rather, it's a 2-point lead for the underdog, Japan's former national champion.
He's won 6 of the last 7 points. Mizuki Oikawa.
It's easy for the imagination to go to work here. This seems very possible. Now again, this is the most adaptable player in the game, Ma Long. But right now, Mizuki Oikawa with a second serve in a very encouraging position.
Wow. Just wow from Mizuki Oikawa.
To get up like that for a forehand flick inside the table, you're talking about a guy who doesn't have so much leverage from the ground up, but he gets up for that ball.
The odds are against someone of his stature, right?
Oh, completely.
Oh, it's just 2 points away from taking the first game against Ma Long. This is where the Chinese are dangerous in the latter stages of the game. Two in a row here from Ma Long. Better from him.
I don't know if it feels this way to you, but it feels to me like Ma Long is just a little bit more central on the table, a little bit more present. He's going to rely on that backhand more because stepping around, Mizuki Oikawa's been too good at painting the corners, changing it up, playing the forehand down the line or to the backhand side of the table. Still a 2-point lead here, though. 2 big serves from the player with the smaller middle, Mizuki Oikawa.
For Ma Long, who's now right behind Mizuki Oikawa.
You can hear the guttural sounds in nearly every shot in this rally from Ma Long. It took a lot of footwork to get around those shots. And when the ball's high like that and your opponent's behind the table, players will favor the forehand, as Ma Long did.
Important there for Oikawa. Give himself some breathing space. He now has 2 game points.
It's tough to imagine in general, but with score lines like this, the imagination goes wild and anything seems possible.
Oikawa has taken the first game. He has beaten Ma Long. This is brilliant stuff from him.
These are the rallies that we love too. Simply spectacular placement. That's the one. Inside out forehand. Keeps the pressure on. Ma Long chasing down forehands all around and Oikawa punishing him, testing him to get all the way back. Well now, the plot thickens here.
This is looking very, very intriguing. Oikawa has taken game 1 here against Ma Long, 11-8. We're into the 3rd match. It's 1-1 between Team China and Team Japan.
OK 悪くないよ全然とにかく守るなよ思い切ってやるの OK 頑張れ
Nice conversation with Adam just in that little break there, because we are in uncharted waters at the moment where not only have they lost a match, China, they are down a game as well. It's a game, it's a match 3. Where do we go? How does Ma Long react to this?
Well, if anyone can react or handle carrying a little bit of extra weight on this hike, it's going to be Ma Long. But yes, there's more pressure on Ma Long than there's ever been in this tournament.
And to be clear, again, the old question that we asked earlier, this shuffle of the order today, do you think that's going to come under the microscope a little bit or not?
I think it will, but I think it's already been under the microscope. I think everything is always under the microscope with Team China.
Right.
There's nobody slacking off. That's part of the reason they're all very friendly, but there's pressure like, I mean, there's pressure like you can't imagine in the table tennis world for China.
And what is it Oikawa is doing that's... Because he's winning a lot of these longer rallies as well.
He's hitting the corners really well. He's recognizing when Ma Long starts to lean one way, he's catching him off guard, and he's forcing him to play backhands, and then coming back into the table a little bit. If he has Ma Long playing a backhand on the chase, it's not going to be as powerful. But here you can see Ma Long in position and how crafty he can be with that backhand. Very few players in the world can run down a wide forehand and then run down a fast wide backhand and still play it aggressively with a similar quality.
Remember, Ma Long.
2-all.
Yes.
Is.
Oh, there's more? Okay.
Lost that first game against Michelle Levinsky of the United States and then stormed back. Very different scenario now, of course. But Mizuki Oikawa will be riding on a high here.
Like even in this point, you've got the hurricane forehand of Ma Long stepping around the table. Mizuki Oikawa does a fine job of stepping back just enough to give himself time to prepare, but not so much that he can't create an angle back. He's very calculated in his movement. That's been very effective as well. going to be a lot of vocalization from the Chinese bench right now. I wouldn't be surprised if Wang Chuqin is the loudest of them all.
Gone long here, Oikawa, and Ma Long has his biggest lead in some time, 3 points.
I like the shot selection, though. If it comes down, it's going to be awkward, it's going to be challenging, and it's going to drive Ma Long behind the table. Just missing the contact on the under-the-table shot. Shang Kong Shefei and Yu Ziyang on their feet in the crowd. Soft block there, Ma Long testing the opponent.
Clever.
Occasionally you'll see a player, Ma Long included, do a snake or something with a bit of side spin from under the table to try and confuse, catch the opponent off guard.
This is so much better for Ma Long, isn't it? He's now 5 clear of Oikawa.
The classic serve that Ma Long brings, the forehand with the quality that's, well, it's tough to keep on the table, let alone in any sort of quality position. That's the thing about Ma Long. He recovers quickly. Oikawa's done an incredible job of allowing him to take a big shot and then make him recover and chase. But it hasn't worked out that way this game. And I think a big part of that is Ma Long hasn't turned as quickly. He's relied on the backhand a little bit more. He's been a little bit more selective about when he plays a forehand, and when he does, it's the quality of the shot. Sometimes variation and spin right into the pocket when he needs.
Oikawa desperately needs some points here. Try and narrow that deficit. Going to get put away by Ma Long.
Look here, long push, the step around, right into the middle. Selective when he's going to step around, but when he does, he's going to make it count. Change of pace, a little bit more spin from Oikawa, leaving it in front of Ma Long.
Let 9-4.
Good power from Ma Long, and that sets up game point.
And there was sort of no hesitation here from Ma Long as he steps around that backhand corner.
Nicely done. The line backhand there from Mizuki Oikawa. A lot of work to do here if he wants to somehow salvage this game. The odds are well against him. So Ma Long has leveled this match. Much better second game from him.
The closest we've seen Satya Gnanashekaran getting 14-12 against Ma Long, and that's when he took it personal. A little Michael Jordan meme here for our GOAT, as Ma Long makes quite a statement in the second game, but there will be no mercy, not from here on out.
11-5 in game 2. Let's see how that third game progresses.
to serve. Love all.
So here we are, game 3 now. Explosive start here from Oikawa.
Yeah, he really gets a lot of waste into this shot, which adds so much racket speed. And a chop block to finish.
Jump in the air there from Oikawa.
This rally was quite impressive that Ma Long was able to stay in it as he did. He thought there was slightly more underspin on that chop block, as one would. The chop block, for those of you newer to the game, we don't see too often. That was a little shout out to the Koki Niwa. Wasn't able to be here, wasn't feeling well.
Picked up the serve in net from Ma Long.
A lot of different superlatives to describe Ma Long, but he's quite adaptable. We've seen that throughout his career.
Into that corner. Lovely shot from Oikawa. This is more like from what we saw in that opening game from him.
Now, we talked about pressure on Ma Long. I think in some senses, the Japanese team is going to feel that what Tomokazu Harimoto did was a gift, and they can't take it for granted.
He is looking far more confident now, isn't he?
It's just going to raise the morale and the team's spirit. I mean, it's as perfect as can be. Short strokes, so there's no way to tell where he's going to go. There's side and top spin on it, right on the line. If Oikawa could take this match, and it's still a long way to go, both Shunsuke Togami and Harimoto are going to have more determination than ever before. Let's put this in the think tank for a minute. Germany just made it through to the men's team final, but this is really Germany's B team. I mean, yes, they have Cho Dong, they have Benedikt Duda, but everyone else there is only here because Timo, Dima, and Patrick Franziska, the Olympic gold medalists, are not here.
Yeah, it's a tremendous achievement, isn't it, just to get to the finals.
So if Japan could get through this, the next hurdle won't be nearly as high.
For either one of these sides already.
Correct. Yeah. That's the way the draw goes. That's the randomness factor, or else you'd be seeing these two teams in the final.
Still some way to go in this tie. Well, he's battled back brilliantly, Ma Long. He was 3 down. It's 4-all now.
Actually, just to follow up to the reason these two teams were not separated in the draw is because it's based on world rankings. Germany's world ranking as a team is the higher world ranked team than Japan's.
Yeah, that's why they're on opposite ends of the draw. Just as Ma Long was cranking up the pressure on Oikawa. Just releases a bit of it.
It's a much needed break to get that extra confidence boost. Find some mojo here. Handcuffing shot as Ma Long leaves it on the backhand side of the depth that Oikawa wants to attack but can't and has to play passively from deep on the table. And from that point on, he knew he had his, well, he was in hot water, I guess, had to back up quite a bit.
That's better from Ma Long. The last couple of points. He's back in front.
Was Ma Long down 1-4 in this game?
Yeah, he was.
Wow.
That's how good that's been. He's won 5 of the last 6 points. He went for it, Oikawa.
9-7.
Didn't miss by a lot either. You can hear when it catches the very top of the net Heavy underspin, deception. Look like mostly side. That's what he does well. He disguises the contact, not hides it, but just keeps it tough to read.
This is a very good run of points for Ma Long. And I wonder if the confidence is starting to drain away from Mizuki Oikawa.
So 7 of the last 8 points to the dictator.
Very good. Ma Long, a procession of points now. Look at that. He was struggling at the start, Ma Long. And he's done in a massive about turn here. He's got 5 game points now, Ma Long. Look at that. When he just thought he was looking a bit vulnerable, Ma Long turned it around spectacularly.
He's an engineer, really. He's crafty at finding solutions. And not only that, he just has so many different answers to tough questions. That's why the most adaptable player in the game has completely turned things around. Now it's going to be on Mizuki Oikawa to try and do the same, but it's tough after a scoreline like Game 2 and Game 3.
Yep, Game 3 ends 11-5 to Ma Long. He's 2-1 up here in the 3rd match.
相持当中呢，他一个球去完以后，他的活杀就是一个反手扫直线嘛。
Trying not to serve. Love all.
So, Oikawa up against it here, perhaps, against Ma Long. I mean, look, some might say they've already done well enough to get that one match anyway, Adam, but now that they've got it, they're looking beyond. And Harimoto to play again. Could they fancy their chances? Great work. And then Ma Long, who wins the point.
The footwork that it took here, remember the steps of Oikawa. A little bit less mileage, let's say, the distance than what Ma Long would create with one step. And he was able to keep a lot of backhands confidently on the table. I mean, really showing how well balanced he is, Oikawa, both wings.
Let. Love.
Just casually hits a roller back.
Big roar from the crowd.
Ma Long is going to be on ice tonight. We got a timeout here, but I can just feel Ma Long is a fearless man, but the only thing he fears is injury. He said that. And the way he's pushing himself right now, he will be on ice tonight.
少しかいけなかったらしょうがないけど、バックの方はバックの方大から出そうだったら別に多分バックに直接タッチしても
王者啊，看出来啊，2面4个角给他发开了，那很好，非常舒服啊。包括对手的这种线路，是不是左还是主动拉中间，那攻胜手有锁直线，就这么一直撅，把他一直往前上去凑，啊，没关系啊，好，很好，很好啊，好吧，来，加油！
Mizuki Oikawa has it all to do now here in this 4th game to try and level this match. It was fantastic. Ma Long is looking superb.
The backhand there from Ma Long, no fear in this rally, and the camera angle we had for this in real time really gave you a sense of how fast these shots are.
Just look how quick he's accruing these points, Ma Long, and you feel now he's already on the home strength.
Right, there's no hesitation. As soon as the rally gets open, he's not holding back. Yes, he'll craft different positioning and placement, but the pace, it's just a fiery, fiery forehand.
Look at that. He's snapping anything that's coming up.
From the start of this match here, if Oikawa takes this match, I mean, that means Japan only has to win one of the next 2 matches to move on. But if Ma Long does what he's looking like he's about to do, Japan will have to be 2 for 2, and even winning 1 match in this team tie
is already
quite an accomplishment.
Back, but he couldn't. Oikawa.
Tough to maintain so much control when you're falling back. Still goes for the right shot. Not a point on the scoreboard yet for Oikawa.
Light. Love. 7.
Well, the bagel is certainly avoided.
We know Ma Long would be happy to deliver the bagel.
He happily did it a few days ago.
I think a big part of that was the scoreline in the first. And if that made him angry, I mean...
What about this one?
Exactly. And a timeout on Ma Long's side.
Yeah, with a 5-point lead.
I think this is interesting. I think part of it is Mizuki Oikawa's confidence. When you call a timeout, sometimes it's to recognize that you have insight tactically, and sometimes it's just a change. Meaning a change in sort of the body language of the opponent. It's tough for me to hear much, so I guess we'll continue on, but I'm gonna say that when you notice your player seems a little bit at a loss, sort of out stranded at sea, That's a good time for a timeout if it's going to change the outcome of the match.
Ma Long looks pretty good though, right, at the moment?
He does, but there was definitely a clear power shift in terms of confidence. The last 2 points, even the first point Ma Long lost, you saw by the way he cleared the ball from the court. He wanted nothing to do with it. There was a sense of immediate regret. And I think Qin Zhijian is going to keep Ma Long from focusing much on that. Just to remind him, look, you're the better player. You're the best player we've ever seen in the history of the sport. Your skill sets are strong. Stay aggressive when you find it. Control the short game. Rely on your backhand where you need it to set up the forehand, but don't feel any sense of desperation to get the forehand.
Again, that timeout called with after a run of 14 straight points from Ma Long. Mizuki Oikawa then got 2. Look at that.
Just amazing. I mean, he had what we called the point of the century in 2015, and the speed in this rally. When have you heard Ma Long shout like that mid-match in a score like this? I mean,
he's already so dominant.
Right, he just evaluated that in vocals alone without a human word.
But credit there to Oikawa for playing his part in it too. Almost there, Ma Long. He's getting more and more vocal.
It just takes me back. I mean, he played Dima 11-9 in the 7th at the Olympic Games, and it was one of the best matches of his life. Really incredible and emotional, but here we can see a similar level of emotion.
Match points in hand here for Ma Long. 8 of them. Perhaps from losing that first game, he has bounced back spectacularly.
And whose hands were the highest but Wang Chuqin's? He says, thank you, Brother Long. Thank you for cleaning up. It's tough. It is very, very tough. Mizuki Oikawa with an incredible match. The quality of points throughout. Really, he just raised his level. For world number 119, Mizuki Oikawa, he could have been top 10. Yeah. And this still would have been a spectacular match, but Ma Long doing what he does and dictating once again, has cleaned up, has carried the weight on his shoulders at 33 years old to clinch this third match here, to get the second match in the team tie for Team China, who's now only 1 match away from moving on to join Germany in the final.
Superb work from Mizuki Oikawa along the way, but he was just blown away after the first game. Ma Long beats Mizuki Oikawa 8-11, 11-5, 11-5, 11-2. Hell hath no fury, like a dictator scorned. Here is Ma Long now, after that win.
Congratulations. You were down 0-1 at the first. How did you adjust your game plan to win this match? 在一开始0-1落后的情况下，连扳3局拿下这一分，当时自己是如何调整的？
其实跟对手已经有好几年没有打过了。上一次比赛其实也是最终自己4-2才赢，所以今天也做好了这种困难的准备嘛。其实第一局自己打的也并不是很差，只是对手发挥的更好。其实从第2局开始，自己还是更加投入，然后还是按照赛前制定这种战术吧。
I haven't played against this opponent for several years. The last time when I played against him, the score was 4-2. So this time I was fully prepared that this game would be difficult. Actually, I didn't play very bad in game 1, but my opponent played very well. And starting from game 2, I became more devoted, and then I also used my tactics and won this match.
And now Team China is leading 2-1. What would you like to say to your teammates to cheer them on？ 目前中国队大比分是2-1的领先，比赛还在继续，有没有什么想对自己的队友们说的？
其实现在对我们来说2-1领先，其实是一个很好的局面。我相信樊振东能够更加释放，因为毕竟我们还领先，我也相信他最终能取得胜利。
2-1 is a very good start, and I believe that our team will finally win the victory.
谢谢。
Praise indeed for Ma Long when he was certainly bigging up his opponent there, Mizuki Oikawa. But what it means now, of course, we go into the fourth match here. It's Fan Zhendong versus Tomokazu Harimoto.
Globe trying 시작도 완전서 지금부터 앞으로 you know I'm only going on yeah. You can call me filthy KID 해서 I hit him IG 92 broken down third eye 열지 keep on I just keep on cause I'm curveball catchy I'm a globe trying yeah. You and I 비교나 하지마 우리 너무 달라 we just different 나 좀 봐라 여자나 집이나 세차나가 순간 너무 빨라 I'm a globe trying You and I 비교나 하지마 우리 너무 달라 we just different 나 좀 봐라 여자나 집이나 세차나가 신난 너무 빨라 I'm a globe trying 나나 계속 올라가다 너 올라가라 body 소리 너무 많이 치는데 빨리 들어가래 하고 살이 자리 빨리 비켜 내가 오라니까 받아들이지 못한다 실려왔다니까 너 계속 여기면 돌아와라 말을 줄까 No it's the guana boy you slacking people talking
Welcome back to Table 1 here at the Chengdu High-Tech Sports Center. It has been an excellent semi-final between Team China and Team Japan. And look at how things have panned out so far. Adam, great work from Tomokazu Harimoto to take us to a fourth. That's the first time that's happened for China in either men's or women's this year. But then Ma Long, and it looked as well for a little while that perhaps the momentum was shifting to Japan after Oikawa took the first game against Ma Long, but they've come storming back, haven't they?
They sure have. I think the world watches, you know, the top Chinese players, they know that the lifespan of a Chinese national team player is shorter than any other team in the world, really, because the demand is so high and there are so many young, fresh players waiting, but Ma Long's still one of the top two and showing.
Yeah, it's got the longevity there. Fan Zhendong has won the toss here. This is a big clash, isn't it? Massive one between Fan Zhendong and Tomokazu Harimoto. Of course, win this one, Fan Zhendong and China go through to the final. The 25-year-old and world #1 who is missing an Olympic gold. That's what he wants. Something he will be looking forward to one day, perhaps. Tomokazu Harimoto, just 19 years of age. He's fourth in the world at the moment. This young man has been around, it feels like, forever. He's got the ability as well. They have met 6 times. 5 of them have gone Fan Zhendong's way. Tomokazu Harimoto, by the way, beat Fan Zhendong when he was 15 years old. In 2018 at the Asian Cup, when he won that one 3-1. So that must give him something to cling on to.
Yeah, it's definitely something that'll be confidence for him, but in their head-to-head, it's been quite some time. The last 4 encounters, Fan Zhendong has not gone to a decider once against Harimoto. And yes, it was, what, 4 years ago that they played, but you have to remember, 4 years ago, Fan Zhendong wasn't the same player either. Was he incredible? Yes. But he's just sort of coloring in the whole picture a little bit more, leaving less spots.
The last time they played here in Chengdu, that was Fan Zhendong winning 4-2 at the World Cup. He would love to take 2 games here right now, Tomokazu Harimoto.
Something charming to see Wang Hao filming on his cell phone here for his player. Fan Zhendong.
So tell us a little bit about the strengths of both of these players now.
Well, Fan Zhendong is explosive on both sides. He's got the short game. He's got incredible leg power. He's agile. He covers the middle well. Tomokazu Harimoto has the fighting spirit of Genghis Khan. I mean, and you can hear it, but he's got a very fast backhand inside the table. He's good at blocking. He's good at short strokes. He's good at putting pressure on over the table. That said, Fan Zhendong is the more secure of the two players by a good distance in terms of spin. He can generate spin from under the table from almost any position. He's able to play aggressively and securely.
These two going into it. Fan Zhendong comes out on top. So what would Harimoto need to do here for you in order to sort of keep pace with Fan Zhendong at least?
Well, he's going to have to control the table in the short game. He's going to have to surprise, and he's going to have to test the corners where he can.
Good work there. That was in the corner.
Right, and I think a big part of this is early in the rally, he makes that opening count. If anything is a little bit lukewarm, anything slightly indecisive, Fan Zhendong is going to exploit the opportunity and make Harimoto pay.
Yeah, you mentioned decision-making as well in the earlier match against Wang Chuqi for Harimoto, and he was a lot more decisive. He was very aggressive.
Right, I mean, this is sort of the name of the game. No matter who you play, the pros are incredibly good at in real time deciding what needs to happen next. That's why some of the best in the world always seem to be where the ball is.
Do you think China would have rather faced Germany in the final if they get through here than Japan?
Yes. This German team, yes. No questions about it. Although if we're talking about when, yeah, of course. I mean, you don't want to have the threat of being knocked out or eliminated in the semifinals. A silver medal is not ideal for a team so dominant. But fighting for a bronze, I guess they wouldn't be playing. Getting a bronze, a silver is much better, obviously. I actually wonder if China even keeps the silver medals. Maybe there's a giant trash can somewhere that's filled with silver, bronze, and they're like, they're all the same color to us. They're not gold.
They're not gold. That's all it is. Harimoto in the lead here.
You just got me thinking about that. The last time someone from China, I mean, obviously a silver medal in the Olympics against Ma Long, I think that's just motivation. I think
spur them on even more?
Yeah, it's like a terrifying picture that Fan Zhendong looks at when he needs to get angry.
Oh, he's playing well, isn't he? Harimoto.
The smart last shot there, that pattern 2 to the backhand. The more natural sort of inclination here would be to go to the opposite corner. Fan Zhendong from way out of position still jammed Harimoto up in that backhand corner. It's like if he can touch the ball, he can do something incredibly threatening in that moment, yet he's down by 2. I mean, Fan Zhendong started this game quite strong.
He did. 3 points is the lead. From Harimoto.
I'm watching Harimoto right now, and I'm reminded that he's just on fire.
He is.
I saw João Geraldo at a meal earlier, and he said, I played wonderfully, Harimoto's on fire, there was nothing I could do. And the night before the match when I talked to him, he's like, if I do this, don't forget. And the next day he's like, yeah, no chance, no chance.
He will very gladly
4-9.
take that edge. He's 5 clear of Fan Zhendong. Well.
Let 4-9.
When we think about what just happened, Harimoto hit it to the short side of the table quite aggressively, and Fan Zhendong returned it on the parallel. I mean, that's a really incredible play from the world number 1.
Putting on a little run himself here.
Nice parallel backhand there. That's the difference in spin typically that we see from Fan Zhendong.
That is 3 in a row for Fan Zhendong.
They will not call a timeout. Coach Kunihito Tase just saying, relax, calm down. No need to panic. You know the game plan.
Yeah, he was in a dominant position, wasn't he, just a couple minutes ago. Harimoto. And now he's given himself 3 game points.
And it's funny, after hearing calm down and then the reaction to this point, as long as he's calm, when he's in the point, he's fine. He can let it all go after, and I think that's a big part of the stress relief is that vocalization.
First time he has faced game points in this tournament. And it's the first time Fan Zhendong has lost the game here at these championships. What is going on today?
I think Mercury is actually in retrograde. I don't know if you got the text. But don't be surprised if letters are upside down here and there and text messages that you get or things are a little bit funky. But right now, this is leaving a lot up in the air for what the future holds. A great start here from Tomokazu Harimoto. The flame continues to burn, and the fire we will watch as this plot thickens.
It is 11-7 in game 1 between Tomokazu and Harimoto.
必须得赢，懂不懂？不要吵，好不好？对不对？
反手位还是要敢跟他想，对，反手位一定要对。你并不一下1、2下就全垫直线，可以反手改硬一点啊 ，come on 啊，加油啊！
Well, we have a full collection here. The 3 Chinese players have all lost at least 1 game now in this tournament. All of them have done it now. Maybe that takes a bit of the pressure off. Fair to say at the moment, are you seeing some of the best of Harimoto in a while?
Yeah, you know, we witnessed that victory over Lin Gaiyuan not long ago, and that was incredible from down 0-3. It's very unlikely, but Harimoto today still stepping it up.
Remember, even if he does it, even if he beats Fan Zhendong, we go into a 5th, and the odds are still in China's favor. The only thing that today, they've very interestingly gone with Wang Chuqin as the man to play the 5th.
Well, this reminds me of the Liu Shiwen situation at the World Championships in 2010. Just to follow up, if you're newer to table tennis, Liu Shiwen, I think she was world number 1 at the time, and suffered 2 losses to
this is
Singapore.
The miracle of Moscow.
Right.
Singapore.
Feng Tianwei with 2 major points, taking out world number 4 Ding Ning, world number 1 Liu Shiwen. A roller! Harimoto showing the feeling, the touch play. You would never give him credit as a touch player. He's a powerhouse. Look at this precision. 2 bounces, a straight up roller. Look at the face of Fan Zhendong in that point. Deer in headlights moment.
How often do you see that? You're still getting over the previous point.
I mean, that was just an absolute stunner. What does it take to be this level of play? He's not a trick shot artist, but he's got it when he needs it. He rolled the rolling master. Just for more context on that point, when the ball hits the net and drops, anytime it hits the net, unless it sits up high, it's a rhythm breaker. It's an advantage typically for the person who hit the net. He was left in a very hopeless place, but you do not have to hit the ball over the net in table tennis. And Harimoto there, I mean, the most viral table tennis shot in the last 6 years came from this man right here doing something similar, Fan Zhendong.
Sometimes a play like that just becomes a catalyst. Just to spur you on. Let's see.
Demoralizing is one word. Scar power is another metric to use there. But if Fan Zhendong has to worry about shots like that, he knows there is no safe hiding place in this match.
Just wonder, is it going to be Harimoto's day? Not if Fan Zhendong has anything about it.
Yeah, Fan Zhendong doing an excellent job to test the footwork of Harimoto here. Brings him out to the forehand side, forces him to backpedal. A little bit of a chop block, sits up high enough, and that is business.
It's the first time in this tournament that Fan Zhendong has been under pressure.
It's a long way to recover from that much bend in the upper body of Tomokazu Harimoto. Perfectly placed into the body there. A standing O from our pink person in the crowd. I think it's fun to watch the VIP section, the Japanese representatives. Maehara-san on his cell phone here, looking nervous.
Backhand. So Fan Zhendong, he's 2 up here. Crowd doing all it can to get behind him. Fan Zhendong. Harimoto knows he cannot let Fan Zhendong run away with this. But the lead is 3 now. Bounced back well since the roller, hasn't he?
Sorry, I couldn't hear you over the gyos.
Yeah, sorry. Fan Zhendong has bounced back well since the roller.
Yeah, he sure has. He's taken control. He went the opposite way of what could have happened. And what might have happened to most players, really. I mean, that's what scar power is all about. You make a shot that's so devastating that the player emotionally hasn't forgotten about it nor recovered to move on.
Yeah. Instead, he has used that as motivation to now take a 4-point lead. He desperately needed that, didn't he, Harimoto?
Yeah, he needs some Harimojo right now. Come back, get a 2-game lead here.
He certainly does.
I like the way Fan Zhendong asks for things. He doesn't ask for it like he's world number 1. He asks for it like, almost like
5, 8.
He's talking to an authority, which he is. Very humble as always. Smart play, shortens it up when Fan Zhendong's a step behind the table, brings him back in and says, if you're going to play this ball, it's going to have to be from way out in front. World number 3 there on his feet, cheering on the world number 1. Again, the world number 3 not chosen in this battle. It was Wang Chuqin, the world number 11.
Lucky there, Harimoto. 3 ahead now, Fan Zhendong. Fan Zhendong, he's now got 4 game points here.
I'm already starting to imagine the conversations in the corners here, especially on the side of Harimoto, but it's not over yet.
Good win for Fan Zhendong to level this match. Important for him. He's bounced back after that disappointment of losing the first game.
Very nice shallow flick just behind the net, making it quite tough. So there you have it, 11-6 for Fan Zhendong. And it's 1 game apiece. We'll see who takes the lead in game 3 coming up right after this.
如果有时候连续腿把他这么半程台方向拉的还可以，只是长脚他也就那么快拉一下。
Players back to the table for game number 3. It's Fan Zhendong with the momentum and the serves here.
That momentum is carried on into this 3rd game here.
You might have noticed how Wang Hao moved himself down to the front of the crowd there to be a little bit closer to the table so that his shouts could be heard by his athlete, the world number 1.
2 in a row. He's looking good. Be a missile there from Harimoto. Fan Zhendong, 3 in a row.
Remember, China leading 2 matches to 1 over Japan. If Fan Zhendong takes this match, China moves on to the final to face Germany. And on the flip side of that coin, if Tomokazu Harimoto wins this match, we go to the deciding 5th match, where Shunsuke Togami will battle against a fairly scarred, maybe not at his best. We'll see if he comes back more motivated, but yes, Wang Chuqin, the world number 11.
It's going to be fascinating if it comes to it. And there were very good moments for Togami in that first match against Fan Zhendong as well. Remember, he took him to deuce in that first game. 2nd game, excuse me. 4 for Fan Zhendong.
Very interesting to be in the arena for this, just sort of the vibes and how the emotion of the crowd changes as they watch this. I think Chinese fans love a good challenge, but it also makes it very tense in the room.
Too much time on that, put away by Harimoto, who desperately needed that point.
I think the big question over the years for watching a player get so strong so young is, what does the future look like? How can you continue this trajectory? I don't know what his peak will be or when it will be, but right now he's playing incredible table tennis. Remember, there's 6 years between them, and Fan Zhendong might not have peaked yet either.
That's a scary part, isn't it?
Yeah.
Nice shot down the line from Harimoto.
It's funny, from different camera angles, certain things are easy to perceive. This final shot that comes off the edge of the racket here, from the other camera angle, didn't miss by much. We just know that Harimoto in a moment like this is going to follow the ball the entire time. He will not give up until it's for sure missing the table. And then it's not really giving up, is it?
Not really.
Thanks.
Momentum, that pendulum is very clearly gone towards Fan Zhendong since game 2.
Took a little walk there, left the front door open on the forehand side of the house, but secured in that shot on the step around. Combination patterns after the long push comes in. Fan Zhendong seems to be quite comfortable right now to counter what comes back.
Big 5-point lead here for Fan Zhendong. Nothing is really going Tomokazu Harimoto's way.
There's something quite memorable, I think, throughout this match at least, that Harimoto sort of holding his ground, staying central on the table, in a little bit of an aggressive blocking game, but waiting for a good opportunity to really turn up the heat when it's hit into his sweet spot.
Yep. And range and pause. 7 game points now for Fan Zhendong, just to make it 2-1.
Net 10-3.
Very well here, Fan Zhendong wraps it up. And that's the biggest scoreline so far in this match. Fan Zhendong now in a very good position here, and China are 1 game away from appearing in yet another finals. Great work down the backhand. Fan Zhendong has taken game 3, 11-3. It's getting better and better for him. He's now 2-1 up here in match 4. China 2-1 up in the overall. 对拉，还是说还有重伤？反应越多，
Tomokazu Harimoto must have gone to the restroom at this point, having a little bit more than a minute between games. We did see a chance to see Mika Baba there, the head coach now for the Japanese team, formerly the head coach of the women's team. Nice to see her moving on up, bringing a lot of success to Japan over the years, and here's Harimoto now.
So the pressure's on him now, Adam. Where's it kind of gone wrong for him the last couple of games? Or what's Fan Zhendong been doing right?
Well, Fan Zhendong has been incredibly, I'd say, adaptable in the open rally. In the short game, he's been strong, but he's rarely been caught off guard. He's not overcommitted. He's relaxed until the moment he makes a decision to go for a shot. You don't see him stepping around early. This is a player who's got arguably the best backhand in the world, Fan Zhendong. Near or far from the table, so that gives him a lot of security. Not a shot without a grunt in this rally, and they are like bullets down here. It is like being in the battlefield yourself. From that angle, the speed they bring. Again, every single shot took that extra energy out of both of them.
That's incredible, that rally, and that will give him such a boost. Harimoto. He's buoyed, isn't he, at the moment?
I just start thinking about the possibilities.
Here we go.
It's exciting. It's exciting to be here watching live.
Think about the possibilities. Take us through.
Sure. There's a wall in China, not the Great Wall in Beijing, but a Great Wall inside the internal training camps that shows 3 different tiers of threats to the Chinese men. Tomokazu Harimoto, top tier, but he's one of a handful there. Now on the women's side, they have a wall, and on that wall has a giant picture of Mima Ito. That's it. The only person they consider a serious threat to China, and she's been quite silenced over the years by Team China, the preparation. But if Harimoto pulls off 2 victories here, it'll be very interesting.
Oh, he's on a roll. And guess what? We're going to see Mima Ito up against Team China in a very short while in the women's team final.
There's just too much goodness here. I mean, this is a table tennis dream to be here today. This is really an exciting day. He's just so dialed in with the spin coming in. Fan Zhendong uses more side spin on that first shot. And then after that, he's low, but Harimoto taking the high-risk shots. You could see that flatter trajectory. Still top spin on it, but not nearly as much as a more secure backhand would normally have. A blessing and a curse sometimes, but playing the risky game with high percentages right now. Japan's Harimoto leading.
We haven't seen this kind of lead for Harimoto since that first game. I think this is even a bigger lead than before.
Still, he's got a long way to go. That finish line is far away here in game number 4. Every point is its own battle. This is interesting. Fan Zhendong plays the ball that's decisively on the forehand side of the elbow. Oh, he's wearing a Superman mask. Liang Jingquin wearing Shuxin's new brand, Superman. That's so cool. Anyway, the forehand took more time to recover from, so he wasn't back in position. Sorry, I got distracted. Squirrel.
What have we just seen?
Wow. This is what it's all about. This is what the crowd comes to see and what makes table tennis so spectacular. The clash here, both of them testing each other's middles, the flexibility, finally a shot that doesn't come down. Harimoto at his back way up against the barriers. A lob, a counter from the backhand. This is a reaction you see after an 11-9 in the fifth loss, and it was one rally. Talk about scar power, it led to a timeout here.
Put everything on that, didn't he?
I mean, this is a timeout that could be an inhaler break in theory.
I think certainly you might need one.
Wow, I do. You literally have an inhaler in the commentator's box. I didn't expect that.
Took my breath away, that one.
We are watching in slow motion sometimes.
A couple of those counters from Harimoto, I thought actually momentum had just swung back in his favor when he played those.
It felt like he had earned himself a position to be more 50-50. And then at some point, he might have even been a little closer to the table. So I can understand that. Watching,
but then,
power of world number one. Not world number one for nothing.
Absolutely brilliant. You just wonder whether that was a turning point in this particular game.
Sure could have been. It's funny, the way he raised his hand, I thought for a moment it might have caught the edge, but then he shook it quickly, and it was clear he was telling himself, calm down. You don't have to rush.
Still 2 points in this. Remember, he was 5 points clear just a short while ago.
Well, that was quite interesting because there was so much change of pace. He'd calmed himself. Very slow shot relative to everything else he had played. Now the exchange, the trade-off is he had good positioning because that stroke was very gentle, relatively speaking.
Back to that 2-point lead. Fan Zhendong.
I can't stop staring at Liang Jingkun's mask now. Just a reminder that Xu Xin is watching. And we all hope to have him back soon. I think we'll have our opportunities.
Another one. If he'd been playing, he might be fancying his chances in this side. Xu Xin. Comes close. Harimoto and wins the next point.
He just pushes him away. It's an avoidant personality type.
3 is the magic number here. 3 is the lead. 3 is what's needed to take us to 2-all. Edging closer. Now we're going to see both Fan Zhendong and Wang Chuqin both lose 2 games on the same day.
Well, 2 games won't cause quite as much damage, but would be interesting.
Drop Fan Zhendong then.
It's hard to believe that roller that Harimoto hit was the same match. They've just given us so much spectacle here.
That's just one of a great number of highlights, isn't it?
Yep.
played that brilliantly, didn't he, Harimoto? He's got 4 game points.
That placement right there gets more passive play. Smart timing there, Harimoto.
Can he convert? Important moment here for Tomokazu Harimoto. Saves one. 2-all. If it goes to 2-all, I'm actually really excited about a 5th.
I think you represent the majority of the world.
Second one save.
Now this is interesting. Harimoto, right after the last point, raised his hand to remind himself to stay calm. Yeah. And he won a good point like this, a very crucial point, slowing down the ball in the blocking game. That last rally, it didn't pay off for him.
I wonder if he hadn't taken the earlier timeout, if he would have taken one now instead. But he still has that 2-point cushion.
Very clean, a very quick cleaning there, as if to say, let's not delay too much.
Yeah, just get on with this. Yeah, felt like that.
Late. 8-10.
That is 3 in a row for Fan Zhendong.
I mean, this is very interesting now because that receive seemed like a perfect receive and it came back into play. Harimoto's taking his chances. I wouldn't call the last point playing it free. Not by a long shot.
Harimoto, can he convert? He does indeed. And he has won this game. It is 2-all. Fan Zhendong has dropped 2 games here in 1 match. Incredible.
I think the Chole became a Sole. He couldn't help but finish the word. It's understandable, I mean, in these moments. But guess what? This is what the world's been waiting for, the deciders.
Well. Tomokazu Harimoto has beaten Fan Zhendong here. 11-9 in game 4. It's 2-all in this 4th match. For China leading 2-1.
他这勾的话，正手反勾，他现在不太往你正手拧。我觉得你有样面有的时候，你感觉他拧的有点狠着，骑的有点快，你发稍微中性一点，不用那么拱也行。
他就不太好压了，然后回来护着一下，因为前面都被你护住，对吧？没关系，挺好。2边，这就是我们想要的局面，打到2边决胜局，对不对？
长马最后一球，长马，
I don't think many would have thought it would come down to this prior to this decision. I think maybe Harimoto winning 1 for sure. Did you think you would be pushing Fan Zhendong all the way?
Wait, 1 for sure? What world are you living
maybe
in?
Not necessarily for sure, but a good chance. Not for sure. Let me revise. But he had a very good chance.
I would say the world knew it was possible. I don't think he's the favorite against any one of these players.
Yeah, not the favorite, fair. We have gone much deeper than we thought we would.
Correct.
And this one is all to play for. The context once again. Harimoto wins this game, and he has taken the match. And it is 2-all, and we go into a 5th. Fan Zhendong wins this, he takes the match and the tie. He's shouts getting just that bit louder as well.
The body language a bit more animated. I mean, 8 years of being a pro. How many years before that? I'll bet there were about 8 years before that where he had dreams. Most people don't have memories at 3. He was forming muscle memory for table tennis. When I think what stimulates a region of the world, it's major headlines, it's taking titles. Japan is already the second biggest market behind China, but if Tomokazu Harimoto pulls off magic here, Japan will explode with table tennis.
Excellent backhand from Zhendong. He too responding in kind.
It's a fine balance. He keeps good topspin on that backhand, but slightly more familiar for Fan Zhendong. He's used to that fast spin game.
Beautifully done by Harimoto.
It's really amazing that he can find a point on the table that's not covered in this rally. He's hanging in there, recoiling after every shot, and it has to be a bending backhand punch. The rockstar celebration from Harimoto. The back bender after the bending backhand itself.
3-all. This could go any way. 3-all here in the 5th. Harimoto who edges in front.
I really hope somebody makes a dubstep mashup mix of Tomokazu Harimoto's shots. It's just so adrenaline pumping. It's contagious, the energy that he brings to the table.
Have you just set yourself your own challenge there?
Musically, I don't know if I'm skilled enough.
Three in a row.
3 in a row points played, but shared between the players
right
either way.
on the edge.
They will switch sides after this point, as this is the final game, the decider.
Harimoto, Fan Zhendong now the one track when they switch ends.
It's that hot potato pushing rally to wait and see who has the best timing and the best opportunity to take the opening attack. And it was an invitation sent by Fan Zhendong. He thought he could send the invitation in a very uncomfortable, awkward sort of way so that Harimoto wouldn't be able to take control. He was right. So smart, the combination. He hit it right behind the momentum in this rally. Jumping backhand, soft punch, and then he sees Fan Zhendong. He knows he's going to try and cover that forehand corner, so he hits it right into the body on the backhand side. Smart play, very mature from Harimoto.
What a battle this is. Back in front. Harimoto. They're sensing, perhaps, pivotal moments. A timeout called from the Chinese.
明白吗？继续这么出去反手啊，很好。无论是给他中间，还是说给他反手这种强强对抗，啊，没问题啊 ！Come on， 加油啊！
Very loud in here, hard to discern what has been said to the players.
6, 5.
What we can tell you, Harimoto, one up and on serve. I thought the moment might have been yes, Harimoto, but he does take the point in the end.
Yeah, me too. That punch down the line into the backhand right here is so tough to recover from, but he keeps the racket so high, drills it into the middle. Look at that. It's like the X of the Superman mask from Yang Jin Quinn.
2 ahead here.
1 point is the difference between 6-6 and 5 serving 7. Combination was smart. Soft block, had the right idea. Played one shallow inside the table, then goes for the deep corner on the follow-up.
He went for it, didn't he, Harimoto? Almost preempted that.
I don't think it was the wrong decision. I mean, hindsight is 20/20, but yes, it didn't come down. He took his chances. There was a little bit of height on the ball. He very well could have made that shot, but here we are. It's 7 points apiece. Did well on his serves last time. Got 2 points on serve.
Let's see how he does now. Back in front again here, Harimoto.
1 point closer.
Have you seen Fan Zhendong push like this in recent times, Adam?
Against anyone other than Ma Long, no.
Yeah.
And even against Ma Long, I mean, he was down in the 6th before he came back to win their last encounter.
He
7, 9.
may say sorry. It's sorry, not sorry.
Hashtag sorry, not sorry. Yeah, caught a bit off the top of the net there in the rally. It's changed everything a little bit. It's a very nervy time right now. What's the magic number, Shahzad?
It is 2. You know it's 2.
So that means that there's 2 points between the finish line and Harimoto and 2 points between the players?
Yeah. That's how I like my magic numbers. There is now some lots between the two. We have 3 match points.
We might need some protection here. I mean, we're right between TV Tokyo and the Chinese staff.
And, you know, it's interesting, the Chinese fans are trying to do their best to get behind Fan Zhendong. Obviously outnumbering any Japanese in here.
TV Tokyo staff is pretty massive.
Yeah, there is a fair bit of them. Great times. This is absolutely superb.
So 1 match point saved here. Remember, this is for Japan to send this to the deciding match, the 5th in the team tie, but still 2 match points left for Harimoto.
I told you it was a magic number.
Wow, man. 2 match points saved. 10-7 looking quite encouraging, but now, I mean, if there is a wire, it is down to it.
Still got that 1 match point. Remember, he had 4 game points in the last one. He did it right at the end. And he's done it! Tomokazu Harimoto has beaten the world #1 Fan Zhendong in what has been an absolute epic encounter. And he is now forced a 5th match. Look at that celebration.
Talk about carrying weight. The hands right there are going to be murdered in that high 5. 2 points, Wang Chuqin, and now Fan Zhendong, the world #1. It is unbelievable. Tomokazu Harimoto, as strong as can be and fighting every point like it is the last point of his life, has paid off. The 19-year-old has beaten the most unbeaten player in the world 2 out of 2 opportunities. This is absolute prime delivery.
Unprecedented here. This is absolutely amazing. China are being pushed all the way. Tomokazu Harimoto has done his part today, and in style. He has beaten Fan Zhendong 11-7, 6-11, 3-11, 11-9, 11-9, and we're now going to hear from him after that superb victory.
Congratulations. You have won both your matches in the WTTC semi-final. How are you feeling?
おめでとうございます。世界卓球で2点取りました。今のお気持ちお聞かせください。
そうですね、2点取れたことはすごく嬉しいですけど、まだ試合終わってないので、しっかり5番、日本チームに勝てるように応援したいと思います。
He said, I'm very happy to win the 2 score, and the match is still on, and I hope we can win. Can Togami bring it home and make history for Japan?
戸上選手は歴史を作って勝つことができると思いますか？
そうですね、本当に今すごく勢いある選手なので、きっと歴史を変えてくれると思います。
He said, I trust he will win. Thank you.
Thank you.
Short and simple. He trusts Togami will do the business. It is going to a 5th. We cannot wait. I'm sure you can't either. We are down to that last match of the day. It's Team China's Wang Chuqin versus Team Japan's Shunsuke Togami. This is the fast and frenetic traffic you're just seeing there in the city of Chengdu. Otherwise, it's a very laid-back city with some very, very friendly people. High-Tech Zone Sports Center is the venue for the 2022 ITTF World Team Table Tennis Championships finals. And we are into the semis here in the men's event. Look at that, China and Japan. You are not seeing a typo, that is absolutely correct. It is 2-all, we are going into a fifth. Take a breath at the moment. It has been one of those afternoons. What a result there for Tomokazu Harimoto. He has just beaten the world #1, Fan Zhendong, and that means Wang Chuqin here carries the hopes of about 1.5 billion people. No pressure as he takes on Shunsuke Togami. And you know what, Adam, that talking point that you and I brought up right at the start of this, by the way, which is about 3 hours ago, about the selection of the positioning of the players today, and then Wang Chuqin would be the one to play the fifth match if it ever came to. And we were thinking, that's probably not going to happen.
Of course, yeah. I don't even think anyone expected a fourth match. We knew it was possible, but the fact that we have Wang Chuqin in the clutch here, this is a bit of a gamble.
Yeah.
And everything is after Ma Long and Fan Zhendong, really. I mean, Ma Long and Fan Zhendong seem to be quite secure. Or they did anyway.
We thought so, yeah.
I mean, Fan Zhendong, incredible, but this man right here, Shunsuke Togami, at 21 years old, world rank number 45, is playing against a tarnished Wang Chuqin. We really don't know what's going on in his head. He might be stronger now because of this, but he might also be a little bit nervous or less confident as well.
Look at his very best. Shunsuke Togami is still 30 places below Wang Chuqin, who's hit number 10 before. They have met once prior. Now, if it was to be a standalone match here, Adam, of these two playing, you know, say in a single somewhere, you would say 9.5 times out of 10, it would be Wang Chuqin.
9, yeah, I give him 90%.
Right, and now here we are in the team's semi-finals. Very, very different, and with what's happened to Wang Chuqin over the last 24 hours or so. It changed, the whole ballgame changes, doesn't it?
Potentially. The last time they played was the World Championships last year in the United States, and it was 4-0 in the round of 32 for Wang Chuqin, but this is far from a round of 32 singles match.
Yeah.
And China, as we know, is a very team-oriented, very community-oriented team. While you said Wang Chuqin is playing for the hopes of 1.4 billion, 1.5 billion, Shunsuke Togami playing for about 6 billion. Just to put things into perspective.
It's going to be nerves. Nerves for both. There's no doubt.
By the way, I hadn't checked in a little while. It's actually 6.5 billion. Apparently there are 8 billion people on Earth right now all watching this live. Possibly. Good start here, getting 2 points against serve Wang Chuqin.
Shunsuke Togami does well against the Wang Chuqin serve.
Looks clinical there, how he just moves around, floats around playing those forehands, almost like a drill, but he resets so quickly and is able to generate a lot of pace.
Remember, the narrative yesterday was, what a superb comeback from Wang Chuqin. 2 down against Christian Carlsen, wins 3-2. Today, he has a chance again to be a hero when China are 2-all. Togami is up for the fight.
He's going to feel more like a hero if he's pushed to the end here. Wang Chuqin, if he closes this out without dropping a game, he'll have delivered a job perfectly. But Shunsuke Togami will do everything he can.
That's a lovely backhand from Togami.
In a team sport, this is another thing. I think you just sort of raise people up when you play the way Tomokazu did. Even Mizuki Oikawa gave an incredible match. I think that was his way of saying to Harimoto, I will not take your gift for granted. He felt a sense of responsibility, and there's no question Shunsuke Togami feels the same here.
Edges ahead.
To me feels like nerve. Yes, it's near the back of the table, but by Wang Chuqin's standards, he had more clearance than he usually would. It's also in part that he likes to drive the ball forward more rather than spin it up softly. Beautiful counter loop down the line, driving it back in. He covers so well the fast feet of Shunsuke Togami. It's no wonder he's the defending national champion of Japan. A little reminder for those of you who haven't had 8 years to watch him be a jaw-dropping pro, like the player who just beat Fan Zhendong.
I think it was about 2 years since he last lost Fan Zhendong to a non-Chinese player.
4-7.
Octorov. 7-4. He is 3 up here, Togami. If he can take the lead, that would be something so special.
Interestingly enough, both of these players are 0-1 in this final. Both of these players have lost their first encounter.
Yep. Fan Zhendong was taken all the way by Togami. He's now up by 5. And 2 away from taking this first game. This would be something. Oh, that's gonna hurt for Togami. Is that a little ray of light, a glimmer of hope here for Wang Chuqin? The door is open.
6-9.
9-4 is a pretty significant lead, and the first, again, is the most important in terms of getting the confidence dropped on the other side of the table. Perfect. Yeah, really perfect placement here from Wang Chuqin. He's making it very uncomfortable. We haven't seen the types of rallies that Shunsuke Togami has wanted, or that he played to get up 9-4. 2-point game now.
This is excellent for Wang Chuqin. He was under real pressure here, and he's won 4 in a row.
Now we've got a timeout on Shunsuke Togami's side.
Do you think that might have been called, should have been called a little bit earlier, maybe? Easy to say now, of course.
Right. I mean, yeah. In game number 1, it's a bit of a risk. It's already early in the big picture in the match. So, trying to save it in case you need it. Should this come down to game number 5, you'll want a timeout when you need it. But game number 1, as we just talked about, is so important. So, if not, I guess it's better now than any later. we'll see. He has to convert this game for the timeout to have paid off. The confidence that he had in the first attack in most of these rallies to get those first 9 points when Wang Chuqin had only had 4. I mean, he was winning a lot of points quite quickly. Well, he's good in the long rallies as well, Shunsuke Togami, and won his fair share. It's all coming down to the short game and setting up something slightly more predictable to really put 100% behind.
9-8.
Pendulum to the forehand.
He'll feel so relieved at getting that.
It's a very temporary relief. He's got about 3 seconds to be relieved, to enjoy that, celebrate it in his head, and then get back and ready for another battle here, a war for 1 point.
2 game points here for Shunsuke Togami.
Great serve, half long, that's what it's all about.
1 game point still for Togami.
It was so quick, his backhand, and Wang Chuqin not bothered. Watch this opening 4th ball there from the baseline. Wang Chuqin getting the stance really wide to get low and counter that back with topspin. 2 game points saved.
Right on the edge, and a pump fist as well. And all of a sudden, it's Wang Chuqin who has got game point.
And the quality on this 3rd ball attack, perfectly placed. He didn't go right to the corner, hit it a little bit in front of the body, something that seemed like it would have done the job.
Very reserved celebration there from Wang Chuqin. And he's turned this around. He was 4-9 down, Wang Chuqin, and he somehow has won this game 12-10. Well, that's got to hurt Togami.
Wow, the fact that he brought the performance he did, Togami, to earn that lead in the first. Can he regroup? Can he bring out the mental savvy and awareness out here, the fight, determination to really battle against Wang Chuqin? Only time will tell.
用场用比分一点点样子，懂不懂？现在1比0，我们领先，我们说了算。
对，一会儿球啊，你别往哪儿打，往哪儿打，但场外你就连续，不用刻意控制。哎，想拧就拧，想搓就搓，你怎么打都是对的。你只要想好怎么打都是对的。对，你愿意跳你就跳，不愿意跳无所谓。对，想好技战术去解决。
对，不是勉强，然后多准备起来，对不对？然后呢，比分呢能咬一咬，就能他妈给他拉开，然后呢，我两个不是很平，心态平稳。
看吧啊，看吧。
Second game, China to serve, love all.
Into game 2 here. Togami has to pick himself up after a rather disheartening ending to that first game.
Now, just for context, the last time that China was taken to the 5th and deciding match at the World Team Championships was 2001. That was where Kim Tak-soo had many overall team points, team tie points, and Liu Guozheng saved them all to send China on.
Well, we're not quite there yet.
The last time China even lost an individual match in the men's teams at the World Championships, 2014. Dima versus Zhang Jike.
That's the last time.
Yes, 8 years since they've lost a match. And Tomokazu Harimoto single-handedly doubled that.
That's incredible.
Obviously, with the team behind him, a good start here. Togami looking to do even more this time around.
Yeah, they have been pushed like they've never been pushed. These 3 players today for Team China. At first, those counters from Wang Chuqin, I thought he might turn it around.
He smuggled in that last forehand. Where did it come from? Jumping there to keep it in play, but the power on that. I mean, it looked so casual for him. He arced it up and deep to that corner. From the other angle, that looked like one of the most powerful, clean shots we've seen from him. The placement. The first towel break, 2 points between them.
And he's on serve here. Togami needs a cushion now, we know that. Coach just pointing to his head. Sensible stuff here for Wang Chuqin. Just increase that again to 2. Togami. Important there for Wang Chuqin.
That's a great serve. One more time, pendulum serve in near the body, top side spin. I mean, it's so tough to receive short to that forehand. To keep any topspin serve short, not easy.
Good points on serve for Wang Chuqin.
Shunsuke Togami trying to invest in an opening attack there, coming in for the backhand, the Chiquita banana flick. And over the table to get more aggressive after trying a more passive receive on the point before to no success.
He goes in front here, Wang Chuqin.
Based on body language, don't be afraid to spin the ball. Arc it up. Obviously not so high that Shunsuke Togami can pounce on it back, but this is a player who drives the ball very low in general. The quality of his shots, even if arcing a little more, still is unlike most of the world.
On the backhand there, Togami draws level.
It's an exciting time to be alive right now. I mean, I don't know about you, but my imagination is already just thinking so far ahead about what this would mean, really. There's a rivalry between China and Japan.
Yes.
I mean, they are the biggest rivals in the sport. The only nation, the only team that really has put up a fight against China.
What about Germany, though?
What about them?
They put up a good fight recently. They've come runners up as well in recent times.
Scoreline not like this. Again, only one match dropped in World Team Championships, 2014 Dima. That was 3-1, and that was 2014.
True.
Germany's amazing. They're amazing. But this is this.
Now, with his biggest lead in this game, and that's just 2 points. Togami can still feel is in this. But if Wang Chuqin goes 2 up here, that's tough, isn't it, for Togami? That's really tough.
Exceptionally so.
Couldn't get that on. And Wang Chuqin now. Looking a lot more comfortable.
Funny, you were asking earlier about Wang Chuqin and what it will mean for future matches, but I think the fact that Harimoto beat Fan Zhendong is actually a bit of a save for Wang Chuqin.
That one for Togami.
Just to clarify, for those of you that didn't catch that, Wang Chuqin might not be scolded or thought of the same way because obviously Tomokazu Harimoto has been playing out of his mind. So maybe it's slightly more acceptable or forgivable.
Just too good, Wang Chuqin. Look what it means to the fans.
This follow-up shot here really had to take that on the rise. Togami gets there, but not much to be done against a shot like that in combination with the one before.
Puts that away beautifully. And he converts the game point. Wang Chuqin in front here and looking good.
How bent was that finish? Steps around completely and just punishes this ball, then stares off into the crowd. Uncomfortable handcuffing shot there. Wang Chuqin. Hopefully we'll get a chance to see this look. There it is. Oh man. Oh man, just draw the shades in now. Just tattoo Thug Life across his chest. That was too hot and 2 games, just too tough to withstand. So 12-10 and 11-7 now for Wang Chuqin.
A good position here, Team China, in this 5th and final match.
Time.
以后这边这个球下去了啊
，come on， 愿意往哪打往哪打。
So, game 3, big ask here for Togami to come back to this now, having trailed by 2. What to do now?
Well, he's gonna have to fight like he's never fought before with very clear focus.
And in both those matches, both those games, I should say, he had leads. One of them significant in that first game.
Yeah, 9-4 is tough to not convert it, but I think the best players in the world have been in similar situations before. It's part of the growing experience. But right now, he's not looking for that type of growth and experience. I mean, if he had to choose, if he was given 2 options, have an amazing learning experience.
Or winning that point, winning that game.
Correct, moving on to the final. I think it'd be a pretty clear choice.
I'm guessing he's going to go for winning that game. Just a stab in the dark.
Light. 1 all.
Back serve, long serve.
Man, the passion here. Where did these people come from? I don't know, but they are for sure lit up right now by the excitement in the arena.
Yeah, it's about as many as we've seen in here.
I think one thing, during the time between games, there was a very confident push from Qin Zhijian, reminding his player, come on, let's do this. I mean, the energy, you could feel it. On the other side, for Shunsuke Togami, the past is unchangeable. 1 point at a time, he can still do this. We've talked about stoicism throughout this week. And my understanding is that's basically not worrying about the things that you can't change.
Crowd getting right behind Wang Chuqin again. What a shot from Togami. He can still pull him out the bag.
This one seemed like it was pulled out of just a fiction world. This angle, where did it come from? I mean, a very narrow margin there to get by, to just sort of sneak past the forehand. Wang Chuqin has no shortage of wingspan. One of the taller players on the Chinese national team. Again, the players look much smaller than they are because of their low stance.
Up, aren't they, Team China?
That hustle all pays off here. Togami running down this wide forehand. Had to backpedal a long way just to get there. 3 shots in a row to the opposite corner, and the heavy spin on this one makes it dip and dive.
Togami has to win this game, remember, to stay in the match and tie. Getting the net. Wang in front.
I'm trying to remember the last time I saw someone carried off a table tennis court on the shoulders of teammates. But I feel like in this match, whoever wins could be received in such a manner.
And remember how that has vastly changed the narrative for Wang Chuqin from about 2 hours ago.
That's right.
Somehow won that point, Wang Chuqin. Looked like he was in trouble.
Well, had a little help with the net there, driving it down the middle of the table. Acknowledge that quickly. But to the fans here, the score line is going to be the priority right now. Cheering on their team.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant for Wang Chuqin. And I think now you feel everything's with him.
This is desperation. Hand switch here, goes into the left hand just to try and cover because he knew there was no way he'd be able to reach it after that opening was created.
Way, and he's now 3 away from wrapping this tie up.
This is tough. At the start of last point, I thought to myself, how much focus do both of these players have to have? Wang Chuqin can't get too satisfied right now, and Shunsuke Togami can't give up hope.
Yeah, he needs to dig deep here, put on a run of points.
Yeah, this is simply spectacular. On the run, contested, absolutely, and he left open the table just as Shunsuke Togami had before. That stretch, one more, a similar role reversal, really. Wang Chuqin could have had to switch hands had that ball come down. We've seen 9-4 comebacks before.
Last game, in fact, first game, in fact. Can he do it now himself, Togami? Match and tie points for Wang Chuqin and China.
You can see him starting to taste it. He's got success written on the back of his headband, Wang Chuqin. Is this redemption?
And for the 27th time, China are into the final of the men's team event at the World Championships. But boy, have they gone about it a really hard way. It has been a superb tie, this one. Japan have pushed them all the way. We haven't seen something like this for about 20-odd years.
Wang Chuqin has redeemed himself and then some. 1 and 2, not too shabby. After being beaten in the first match under pressure, coming back from down 4-9, I mean, it was starting to look grim. If you're watching this and you're in the Chinese coaching staff, if you're in the Chinese camp, 4-9 down, this could have been the first time in a really long time that China didn't appear in the final. Can you imagine?
They were just countenancing that thing, that fact. It could have been on the cards, but somehow they did brilliantly here.
So racket dropped, job well done, hands in the air, come give me a hug, he says. And the fist shaking all around as China is through, the hug is there. Qin Zhijian, man, looks like he needs some heart medication after that. Liu Guoliang here with Mai Hara-san, Japan and China, the leaders, alongside ITTF Group President, or, well, the ITTF President, Petra Serling and Steve Dainton. Wow.
So, Wang Chuqin has beaten Shunsuke Togami 12-10, 11-7, 11-4. Let's hear from that winner now. Here is Wang Chuqin.
Congratulations, 恭喜取得比赛的胜利。You have just won the deciding match in one of the most epic team matches in history. How do you feel? 刚才拿下了决胜性的1分，请问你现在的感受如何？
我觉得当赢下这一场比赛的时候，自己还是非常激动吧。心里边也背负着很多这种信念也好，使命也好，我觉得我做到了。
I am very excited about this match. I have carried on this faith.
How will you now recover and prepare for your match for Germany? 那么接下来对阵德国，你将会如何准备？
我觉得今天这场球我们团队能赢下来，也相当于给我们敲了一个警钟吧。然后所以说，在后面的比赛中，我们会更认真的、更积极的去准备后面的比赛。
Today, our team won this match, but it sounded an alarm to our team. Next, we are going to prepare more carefully and more actively for the next match.
Cheer your team on for the finals in one sentence. 我们现在请你用一句话为自己的队伍和队友加油。
加油
Fighting.
谢谢 Congratulations.
I love that. He thought long and hard, and he came up with the jiayo.
Hey Shazad, can you call me a cab?
Love it.
You're a cab.
Listen, it has been a joy. It has been a pleasure to have been part of history today. And at this scorecard, I mean, it's worth a picture, isn't it? Because frame this one up.
Yeah, to watch this live was really a privilege. When you think about the things in your life that you really enjoy, where you lose track of everything else that's happening in the world, it's times like this that we feel very fortunate to have been here.
Well, now they've got to dust themselves off. Both teams today went to epic ties. China, as you saw there, just edging out Japan, and Germany doing the same against Korea Republic. That means tomorrow we have China versus Germany. So, catch your breath, take a break. About 50 minutes from now, we're going to have another big encounter between China and Japan. It's the women's team's final, and there they are, warming up before that big one. Sun Ying-sha, she knows the nation's hopes rest on her, as does Chen Meng. And let's just remind you of what's happened and what's to come, with Germany beating Korea Republic in the men's semi-finals that started this morning, and then China edging out Japan. We've been on for about 7.5 hours today, and there's more fantastic table tennis to come when China take on Japan in the women's team's final. We'll see you then.
是红成长，共进步，引导产业投资，促进产业升级。成都产业投资集团。